Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to the XFL. That's right, the X-Pound Fantasy League here for another week of scoring and wrestling zaniness. With me is Jeff, as always.
Hi.
Neither
And we lost Jim. And I thought I was the one without a voice.
What the fuck?
Ah, he has a voice.
Okay then.
You mysteriously lost your voice.
That was weird.
Get better internet.
It's not my internet. It's the fucking Hangouts.
Are you plugged in?
Yes,
Weird.
I know.
Start the intro over.
How far did I get?
You just introduced us. That's it.
That's the last thing I said.
Yeah. You introduced us. You used your mic. You always use the mic first, of course.
Yeah, so anyway, we are here for another week of wrestling zaniness and fantasy scoring. Like I said, Tiff and Risa cannot make it tonight. We're on an awkward night tonight. It's a freaking Wednesday, only because we're just so far behind in trying to get all this done. We will be caught back up for regular scoring on Saturday with all luck, though, for this week that is happening. So tune in for that. But this is for last week, that being the 11th and the 12th, respectively, of March 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go through this. I've got Raw. Jeff has the SmackDown scores from Tiff as well as 205 Live. I give credit. I have to give, of course, my full credit out to Risa for scoring 4 out of the 6 matches on Raw. So that was very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's do this. Let's go over here to the document. Present to everyone. Let me go over to the correct page of it. There we go. So, in the lead, at a very healthy lead at 76-26, is the Extremely Legit Yes Movement. In second place are still the Roddy Last Kickers under Tiff, 69-35, and the Big Dogs Club and I are still way back at 48-78.
Nobody is ready for the Yes movement.
Nobody is ready for Asuka to actually have an opponent.
Well, she had one this SmackDown.
Yeah, we saw how well that went.
Yeah, she beat the shit out of her.
Exactly. Not really competition.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the women's division is on Raw, not SmackDown.
I don't know. Charlotte and Becky were both there.
Charlotte and Becky are both vying for the Raw Women's Championship. They're part of the Raw Women's division at the moment.
No, they were on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Mm.
The thing is, and I don't agree with how they're doing this personally, is that they're on the SmackDown roster, but their entire storyline has nothing to do with SmackDown at all. So they're just wasting SmackDown time on a Raw feud, which I don't approve of. I think that's dumb. I think if they're in a Raw only feud, they should be on Raw. They should not take up SmackDown time to further that feud.
I can see the concern there.
And that's why Asuka has fucking nothing, because that's the preeminent feud going forward on SmackDown, because they're SmackDown superstars, which I'm like, fuck off. They're competing for the Raw Women's Championship. Why are they wasting Asuka's time slot?
Yeah. Because nobody cares about Asuka?
Everybody cares about Asuka except Vince McMahon, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Asuka. Everyone's pissed off that they're just doing nothing with her. They're glad, they're happy she's got the title, but they're like, do something with her for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
At least she was on the show, which thank you, but she's still taking a backseat to two women who have nothing to do with her title. And also by doing that, they're kind of devaluing the SmackDown Women's Championship, saying the Raw Women's feud with SmackDown Superstars is more important than the Women's Championship of that show. It's like, no, fuck you.
Well, how they've booked it, they're not wrong. But the thing is, it's only the Raw Women's title because Ronda happens to be holding that title right now.
Right, but what I'm saying is if they have chosen to feud for the Raw Women's Championship, or if they've been booked that way, then they should, for the duration of the feud, be moved on to the Raw roster until such time as they choke and lose. Then they get shipped back off to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with they are part of the roster that they're on until such time as they win the title. I'm like, no, because then now you're taking away time from people of that brand, and that's kind of a slap into the face of the superstars of that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're saying certain superstars and feuds are more important than the fucking championship, which, no, it's not. Go fuck yourself.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. It kind of is in this case. Even if there were no title on the line in that feud, it would still be a massive feud and would kind of dwarf things. And the thing is, I'm not going to complain about that because WWE has spent a very long number of years recently demonstrating their inability to write a good feud that doesn't involve a title. The fact that they're writing this awesome feud and that Charlotte and Becky are carrying it without Ronda necessarily being around, and that it's about the belt is just incidental, that the feud is bigger than the belt, I think is very important. The fact they made one of these feuds is a good thing, and they should be encouraged to do so.
And I agree. I just don't think they should be taking time on the show that the feud has nothing to do with, is all I'm getting at.
Except it does, because Charlotte and Becky are members of that roster.
Yeah, but it's not. But the thing is, sure, they're a member of the roster, but they're not helping to improve that roster's division. If anything, they're burying it because their feud is more important than furthering that division. That's what I'm saying. It's because they're taking time on SmackDown to deal with this feud. The women of the SmackDown division are basically getting buried. Their fucking champion is getting buried. They can't further that division. You know, you started out this with saying Asuka has no opponent. Well, where do you see actually, where they actually have time and energy and stuff to actually develop an opponent? They're too fucking busy with Becky and Charlotte bickering over who gets to face Ronda. It's like, no, do that on Raw where it belongs. And develop Asuka, develop the championship picture there, develop the women's division of SmackDown. Stop putting them above the division. It's like, no, I get that the feud is bigger than the championship. That's fine. Then put them on Raw because they're feuding for that championship. Make it bigger than that championship on Raw. That makes a lot more sense. Because at least you're not burying an entire division when you put it on the proper show. Because it's all about that division. Since, they're going after that division's champion.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've been on Raw, too. They've been doing it on both.
I know. I'm just saying they shouldn't be on SmackDown for this feud. Not at the exclusion of Asuka. If the entire SmackDown women's division is going to suffer because of this, then they should not be on the show. That's what I'm saying. The entire division should not suffer for this feud. Unless it's the division involved in the feud, then that makes sense. I.e., the Raw Women's division, yes, that makes sense that this would overshadow the entire Raw Women's division because, well, they're going after the Raw Women's Championship.
Well,
so in a way, it has everything to do with that division.
Given where we are, there may be an interesting end game to this, to be honest.
Okay.
Even you yourself had pointed out the possibility of this being demanded depending on how things go. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing this to get people comfortable with the idea of everybody being around, because come the fall when SmackDown goes to Fox, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended the brand split.
Or more properly define it, depending on how SmackDown wants. Because you have to think about it. Fox wants to treat SmackDown like a legitimate sport. You can't do that if you have people randomly showing up cross-brand. Now, I would say if there was an ulterior motive to all this, it's what WWE wants to do near the end of this year, what they're hoping to do, and it's the reason why, and we're going to a little news territory here, it's been confirmed that this is the reason why they have yet to even announce whatever the fuck the women's pay-per-view was last year that they came up with.
Evolution,
yeah. They said there's going to be one. They want one, but they have yet to announce it because what they're hoping is they're hoping to coerce and convince the fucking Sultan of Saudi Arabia to allow women to compete.
Not the Sultan, the Prince.
Prince, whatever. The guy in charge of Saudi Arabia, they want a women's match, at least a women's match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. That's what they're hoping for. And I have a feeling that, and of course Ronda Rousey, is the reason why the women's match is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, which has also been confirmed.
Wouldn't be surprised. I'll make a counterpoint, though, and I make it with your own words, because when the whole Fox announcement went down, the first thing you said was, I don't see Fox shelling out that kind of money for half a roster.
No, but I kind of retract that. I say I see Fox shelling out a bunch of money if they're like, give us the best half of the roster.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, if their edict is, we want to treat this as a legitimate sport, and they know there's 2 shows, they're going to have to deal with half the roster. There's like no bargaining there, because they can't just walk in and say, fuck Raw, because Vince would never do that, because Raw is his flagship show. He would never agree to that. Not for any amount of money.
You'd be surprised.
I doubt he would just bury Raw after how long and hard he's buried SmackDown for Raw.
Well, we shall see. Money talks.
Yeah, I don't see the brand split ending unless Fox completely changes their tune. Because that's all I've been hearing since the Fox acquisition of SmackDown, is that we want this to be a legitimate show. You know, they're going so far as to, you know, saying they're going to change the layout of SmackDown to make it more like Raw, with the announcers table more, you know, at the top of the ramp. So it's more like a sports broadcast as blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, if they're going to make it more of a legitimate, like ESPN style sports show, they can't have a joint roster, because that's not legitimate sports. Right? Because it's not like all of a sudden you'll see like the designated hitter for the Seattle Mariners show up in New York for a Yankees game with a Yankees jersey on for one game. That's not going to happen.
No, but you're making another assumption.
What's that?
Because I have this big feeling that this is going to be approached from a different angle than you think it is.
Okay.
Because based on the situation, and given that they're trying to push it as a legitimate thing, I would not be surprised if Fox approached this from the perspective of, we're going to pretend Raw doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because if they're trying to push it as a legitimate sports show, they're probably not going to want things too directly affiliated with Raw and the goofy-ass storylines. So they're probably going to ask WWE to keep the cross promotion to a minimum, and I wouldn't be surprised if the instructions were basically, you know, do SmackDown, do the rest of the legitimate sports stuff, but we want SmackDown to be able to stand on its own as its own show, but we want all the best people. So I wouldn't be surprised if they basically had separate storylines, basically lack of storylines on SmackDown, more about wrestling, and basically had everybody on SmackDown treat SmackDown as if it was a lone show and not reference the Raw stuff on another network, because I doubt Fox is going to want to promote a show on a different network. They're not going to do that. They're not going to let WWE do it.
That's fair, but if that's the case, then that brings up another huge logistical issue on WWE's part.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with pay-per-views? Because now you have to double your pay-per-views. Because if they want to keep it separate, you cannot have SmackDown stuff with Raw stuff on one pay-per-view. That's just not logistically going to work if that's how they want to run it. You have to have separate SmackDown pay-per-views. You won't have a choice, which means you're going to have to double your pay-per-views, which means your big four are no longer going to be your big four, because it won't be fair to other promotions. You know, it won't be fair for one or the other brand to have the big four. And you know damn well Fox will want WrestleMania. And there's no way in fucking hell Vince would make WrestleMania a SmackDown branded pay-per-view. There's no fucking way in hell. He would never do that.
No, but
never.
I think what you're missing is that the vast majority of those quote-unquote pay-per-views are not pay-per-view buys anymore. They're on WWE's network, which means that's Vince's decision, not Fox's. Fox could say, we'd like you to only promote, when you're on SmackDown, we would like you to only promote the SmackDown pay-per-view matches and don't mention the Raw matches, and that's fine. I think that would be a fair enough line. We're saying, okay, we obviously can't stop you from having other brand matches on there, but we would just ask you not to promote the matches of the other brand on our show.
Actually, if he's going to remove... Yeah, but he has to if he's gonna do the pay-per-views, he has to promote those matches to sell the pay-per-view. There's a conflict of interest there. You can't keep co-branded pay-per-views and not promote those matches on both brands. That's how you sell the pay-per-view. But then there's the other thing of I just realized what he's gonna do. It's not gonna be double the pay-per-views. He's gonna have to go back to the way he doesn't want to do it, the way he got away from doing because he hated it, which was he's going to have to split the pay-per-views, and he's going to have one pay-per-view per show every 2 months. Because if you're going to have the same rosters on both shows, you can't have, like, say, if it's a co-branded pay-per-view, go on there and have every fucking superstar on the card wrestle 2 matches. That's not going to work. Because you have to realize you're now going to be dealing, if they do it the way you're saying it's going to do it, they're not going to be dealing with the same roster on 2 shows, which means potentially, if they keep the co-branded pay-per-views, you're going to have at least half that roster pulling double duty in one night on a pay-per-view. So it's not even your TV shows, it's the pay-per-view. So they're going to pull double duty at the fucking John Cena elite level. That's not going to fly. So they'd have to split it up to where it's one every 2 months. So you have a Raw pay-per-view 1 month, a SmackDown pay-per-view another month. I don't know that Vince wants to do that because he tried that and it didn't work. That's why he got rid of it.
Yes, but they could build. You have to realize though, just because the roster is on both shows doesn't mean you have to. The thing you have to remember is that SmackDown is going to be less about storyline, which means maybe there are 2 to 3 story. Maybe basically, even though all the guys can appear on both shows, don't necessarily run the storylines on both shows. Maybe you have, okay, let's say AJ Styles is shooting with Randy Orton right now. We know this. So let's say maybe AJ Styles and Randy Orton will show up on Raw. They might wrestle a match on Raw, but generally speaking, maybe they show up and they're participating in a tag team match of some kind, one or the other. They might show up and compete there, but their storyline is only going to be focused on Raw. So basically, it's sort of like, how could I explain this?
Because you have to realize if they have the same rosters, the top guys are going to probably be close to the same on both shows, because I don't see Fox in this case basically being okay with him, with, let's say they and Vince agree, okay, the top guy in the entire company is Roman Reigns, let's say, the big dog. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be okay with Vince saying, well, Roman Reigns is going to be a Raw exclusive champion. They're going to say, fuck you, we want him to be the SmackDown champion because he's the biggest draw, and and he's the big guy right now. And so if you run into a situation where you have a heavyweight champ, one guy that's the heavyweight champion on both shows, well, fuck, you're gonna have to defend both titles on the same pay-per-view. He's basically gonna have to put on 2 5-star matches in the same pay-per-view, and that's not gonna work.
Right, but you're missing the point. We swapped the debate over realize because we're no longer talking about the basically, yeah, there might be one champion, but that's not what I mean. I'm not saying he's going to put on 2 matches. You do this 2-match thing. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm saying is, okay, maybe on SmackDown, Roman puts on a 4-star match against Seth Rollins, but on Raw, maybe Roman just shows up and cuts a promo, and maybe the following week it's reversed.
I'm talking about the pay-per-view, Dippy. Like WrestleMania, you can't go to WrestleMania and not defend the titles. And if the same guy is the champion of both shows, guess what? He must defend both titles at WrestleMania, and it must be a WrestleMania quality match. That's not going to work. He won't physically be able to do it.
But if there's a brand split, it would be one champion, one title match.
But that will kill SmackDown, because what's the point in having one champion cross-branded if half the shows has no storyline behind it? It's like, well, why the fuck do we care about the championship? Like, if they did that, that would effectively kill SmackDown, because SmackDown wouldn't have anything behind it. Fox would effectively kill the thing they just paid, like, however many billions of dollars to acquire. I don't think Fox is that stupid to be so pig-headed about, we want this to be so legitimate sports that we're willing to kill the thing we just spent billions of dollars to acquire. Because they have to understand what's going to bring in their numbers and make wrestling fans want to watch it. yes, it's quality of wrestling, but if it's the same people on both shows, you're going to get the quality of wrestling regardless of which show you watch. And then after that, if you know that, then it comes down to which show is going to make me actually care about what I'm watching. Well, it's the one with the storylines. And I'm sorry, a shitty storyline is better than no storyline when it comes at least to the titles.
Except it's been made fairly clear that Fox doesn't care about storylines. They care about wrestling.
Which is fine, but they're going to very quickly care about storyline, or somebody needs to tell them you should start caring about storylines if they want this to actually work. Like I said, they just spent billions of dollars to acquire this. All that money is going to go down the shitter if they don't pull their head out of their asses and realize storyline is going to be what gets the viewers to care about your product. Because even if you go into the indie circuit, even if you go to like fucking ROH and NJPW and stuff, you know what? A lot of that, yes, they focus probably more on the wrestling than anything else, but there are still storylines. That's what gets the audience invested in the wrestling. And if Fox doesn't realize that, SmackDown's going to die. It's going to be a bust. It's going to be DOA because no one's going to give a shit. And especially moving it to Friday, you have to get your audience to care on that time slot because, as has been proven throughout entertainment history, Friday night is the death slot for anything. Like, you need to have something damned good in that slot, something that's going to captivate your audience, hold their interest to make them want to watch, or it's never going to work. And it never has. Anything that either hasn't been good or just hasn't held the interest of the audience got canceled after like one season, if it even lasted that long. That includes SmackDown. SmackDown's tried the Friday time slot. That didn't work too well. The ratings went down. They had to move it. And if you remove the one thing that's going to get you the ratings, which is the storylines to get you interested enough to want to watch the wrestling, no one's going to watch the product. And I don't see Fox being, well, it is Fox, but I don't see Fox being stupid enough to not even consider that, to look at it and say, maybe we shouldn't, completely alienate our entire audience that we're trying to get here for billions and billions of dollars. Like, you would think they would want to be a little cautious about this, want to talk to people who know the business, who know the industry, who know the audience, to know how to bring the audience in if they're going to invest that much money into something. Because I know if I was investing billions of dollars, I would be very interested in what's going to make me that money back. And completely shitting on your audience and taking away what invests the audience into the product, that's not going to get your money back. At least that's how I feel about it. Like, from the physical standpoint, the format and stuff, if they want it, they want to run it more like a professional sports thing, that's fine. That's Raw kind of does that anyway. And WWE's been kind of shifting more towards that anyway by bringing in like Coachman and the fucking podcast dude and whatnot, right? And like, all the people they bring in for the panels. That's why they've been doing that. That's fine. But to just go full overboard with it and just be like, erase the plot lines, erase the storylines. I mean, I get the storylines are shit, but come on, getting rid of them, that's a little harsh. And that's not going to work because, good or bad, it still invests the audience. And that's the important part. It's like what superstars constantly say when they're asked about, oh, this storyline or that storyline, or, are you pissed off that, you're not winning or blah, blah, blah. Like when people talk to Roman Reigns about getting booed, they always say the same thing. I don't care if I'm getting booed. I don't care if I'm getting cheered. I don't care if I'm winning or if I'm losing. As long as I'm eliciting a reaction and a response from the audience, then I know I'm doing my job. That's the exact same thing with a storyline. It invests the audience into the product. And as long as the audience is invested, you're going to make some of your money back. If you don't invest the audience, you're almost guaranteed not to make any of your money back. And I don't know if there isn't even an audience for just pure wrestling, no storyline aside. You want to watch that stuff? Go watch fucking collegiate wrestling where it actually is a sport.
Right, but I think you're missing what I meant. I'm not saying get rid of them completely. I'm just saying tone them way back and have it purely be the storyline is these two guys have a beef against each other because they want to prove that they're the better athletes. Basically, what I'm saying is, and I find it hilarious to have to explain this considering what you primarily do for this league. I'm saying they'll probably end up turning SmackDown into something more like 205 Live.
But 205 Live has storylines. It's not just because I think I'm better. There's storyline threads running throughout that. I mean, sure, the core storyline throughout all of WWE is I think I'm better than you, but there's a storyline around that invests the audience into the feud. Just I'm better than you is not enough to invest the audience. Like, for instance, Drew Gulak, yeah, he thinks he's better than everyone else, but that's not why he does what he does. He does what he does because his whole entire storyline is better 204, better 205 Live. He thinks what he's doing is making 205 Live better. Changes he wants to make, he feels is going to make 205 Live better. Eradicating high flying, he thinks is going to make 205 Live better. That's the storyline.
Right, and I understand that. Now, like I said, you keep missing my point. I'm not saying get rid of storylines. I'm just saying tone them back and make them less over the top is what they're going to do. There's still going to be some amount of storyline, but I think it's going to be significantly more minimal. It's going to be 205 levels of storyline as opposed to Raw levels of storyline. And that's the difference. Is that 205 Live is 80% of 205, if not 90% of 205 Live's show usually is wrestling, like 3 matches. And maybe 10% is a couple of quick backstage promos. Where I think you're going to end up with that, where the storyline is, there's a reason for the guys to be fighting, but it's very, very minimal, referenced occasionally, and the majority of the show is going to be the wrestling, and I think that's the direction they're going to go with it. You're going to see a lot more focus on the wrestling and less on the fairly minimal storylines that are just there to keep things rolling. And I think that's how it's going to end up.
Right, but if it doesn't tie into Raw, again, you're not engaging the audience because it's like, if you're like, don't even reference what's going on in Raw, you're almost effectively running 2 storylines for the same like title and shit. It's going to be confusing. People aren't going to give a shit about SmackDown because of the minimalistic storyline compared to Raw. And it's like, if the actual storylines are all on Raw for the title that they care about, it's like, well, why am I watching SmackDown? Especially if, as you pointed out, if they say, we don't want you to even reference Raw, then it's like, well, what's the point of the storylines? There's literally no point to the storylines on SmackDown at that point. If it's all for the same title stuff, it's like, okay, well, SmackDown is irrelevant because what we're going to see at the pay-per-views, the culminations at the pay-per-views are going to be the storylines of Raw. That's where the WWE fan goes for WWE programming because that is the programming that matters. The point I'm trying to make is no matter what they do, they are going to make SmackDown irrelevant in the eyes of the audience.
And I disagree with that. I think they're going to make it a different kind of wrestling product that might appeal to a different audience. If you tune into, off the top of my head, Ring of Honor, you're not going to see WWE storylines. You're going to see a very minor amount of, okay, this is why these guys don't like each other, or this is how this developed, and then you're going to see wrestling because that's how they operate. That's the kind of wrestling show you're going to see. Something more along the lines of that, something more WWE. Let's be honest here. Quite literally, in places and everything else, WWE is replacing UFC on Fox's network. That's the kind of show you're going to see where, the guys have backgrounds. The guys have, there's interviews where, Brock Lesnar will talk about, I think, Manny Pacquiao or whoever is a piece of crap and I'm going to beat him up. You're going to see those kinds that, you're going to see occasionally that much buildup of guys yelling at each other, maybe guys attacking each other at a press conference once in a while. You're going to see that kind of storyline, but that's the level of storyline you're going to see. And you're going to see much more focus on the wrestling. And that's the kind of show you're going to get out of that. And is noted, by the way, in this article that I've brought up for back in November, according to Wrestling Observer Newsletter, so grain of salt, they seem to be of the opinion that because Fox would not want to cross-promote the same superstars that Raw has, that actually made it more likely the brand split would remain, but that it would be more strict. It would actually go the opposite direction and be more strictly enforced, so that all of Fox's people in storylines were strictly Fox's people in storylines.
See, that's what I was saying from the beginning. But the thing you're missing here, Jim, is you keep referencing other promotions and stuff, and that's all well and good, and that's fine because there are other promotions, but you have to realize SmackDown and Raw are the same fucking promotion. And I'm sorry, the WWE fan, yes, I would love to see the rest of the stuff. I love 205 Live, But at the end of the day, if the pay-per-views are going to be all about the Raw storylines and they're not even going to reference those on SmackDown, why would I invest time, especially a Friday night, on a show that at the end of the day is completely irrelevant to the landscape of WWE? That's all I'm saying. From a storyline perspective and from a fan perspective who's investing time into this, why would I invest that time into SmackDown if they're not even going to reference Raw? Because none of that is going to play a factor into the pay-per-view at all.
You're investing time into seeing high-quality wrestling matches, and there'll be, like I said, there will be some storyline. It's not going to go away. It's just going to be less.
No, but you outright said that if they did this, that Fox would put it forth an edict of don't even mention the Raw storylines. Like if they did this, but it was basically the same storylines from Raw, and they mentioned it and continues the storyline, that's something else because that's still invested. It furthers the storyline. Okay, that's fair. It's just in a different format, but it's still basically the same thing. You're getting a little more wrestling, a little less storyline, but it's the same thing from Raw. Okay, that's fair. You're furthering storyline. You're promoting the next pay-per-view. And and if they don't say don't promote Raw, if they don't say don't promote the pay-per-views and they actually promote the pay-per-views on SmackDown, okay, that's fair. So you basically have the same product two different ways, all funneling into the same end game. That's fine. The way you have it set up is SmackDown being completely fucking irrelevant because Fox doesn't want anything to do with Raw. It's like, well, I'm sorry, but Raw is where the main storylines are going to be, and Raw is going to be what's relevant to the pay-per-views. Ergo, that's where the WWE fans are going to go because, well, they watch pay-per-views. They have the WWE Network. That's where their interest is. That's where their investment's going to be. I'm sorry, as a WWE fan, if they go forward with what you have outlined, I would not. I mean, I'm not investing really much time into watching either anyway, but if I had to pick one, I would pick Raw to invest in, even if it's the worst show, because the storylines have heavy investment into the pay-per-view and you have the payoff in the pay-per-view, right? If I'm invested into the pay-per-view, if I want to watch pay-per-views and I'm a huge WWE fan, that's where I would go. SmackDown seems like the way you're describing it seems like it's for the WWE fan who doesn't even give a shit about the WWE aspect of the brand and doesn't have the network.
No,
That's what it sounds like.
What I'm saying is it's for the WWE fans who have for a very long time pointed out that WWE's product is stale and outdated. Which is not that same old stale, outdated formula that old man Vince has been pushing beating as a dead horse for the last 10 years. It's not going to fly when Fox wants network level ratings.
Right. Unfortunately, they're not going to get network level ratings because I feel, and this is my personal feeling based on how I personally feel and from what I've seen of fans like on the internet and stuff like that, I feel that the current WWE fan, mostly the majority of the hardcore fans and probably even a lot of the casual fans, would still rather have the outdated, stale shit that we have now over a show that bears no relevance to anything else in the company. Like I said, SmackDown wouldn't even have any bearing on the pay-per-view. Why would you watch it as a fan?
Right, but I think that's where you're making a misunderstanding here. That's where you're missing Fox's entire perspective, I think.
No, because unless you want to retract what you said and reword what you said, because you said, and I quote, Fox would not want Raw storylines to be mentioned on SmackDown at all, and Fox would not want the pay-per-views to be marketed on SmackDown. That is exactly what you said. And if that's the case, there is no relevance to SmackDown to the WWE fan. And that is fact.
Right, and going into thing, I think that's where you're kind of missing something.
What's that? Go ahead and reword what you said. Retract what you said then.
No, I'm not retracting anything. I'm making an additional point. What you have to realize, based on everything that I have heard, and again, this is all grain of salt because we don't know what's actually going to happen come October 9th when this thing hits the airwaves. We just don't know. Mm-hmm. This is all speculation.
Right.
But based on everything I've read that's been coming out of all the news sources about how Fox is approaching it, I think the detail that you're overlooking that you need to realize in their approach, they're not aiming for WWE fans.
they're not going to have an audience because it's a WWE product. It's WWE SmackDown. Who the fuck do you think is going to watch your product?
And that's
Idiots.
right, but that's the point. They're aiming for the specific audience that they already cater to with their football and other sports and products. That's why they want to make SmackDown more like that, so that their audience that watches their other major sports will also watch the WWE. They're not aiming for the WWE's existing audience of children. They're aiming for their audience of 30, 40, 50, and sometimes older men who want to watch sports. That is their target audience, and that's the demographic that they're aiming at, is to get in the same audience that watches all the other shit on their network, because that's the message they want to send out. That's the audience that their entire network is aimed to, and that's why they're changing SmackDown into a show that is more like that. It's even been said by several people with things coming out that WWE is actually going to bring in people from these other sports to occasionally show up on WWE and vice versa to cross-promote the show.
I don't know if that's going to work. I still think that's pretty much going to be DOA if they go that route, because right now WWE has an inbuilt audience, and you're basically threw billions of dollars behind we're going to try this, but it could blow up in our faces kind of thing, and we're going to alienate the existing audience to begin with. It's like you're doing it without a safety net. It's like you're doing it, but then you take scissors to the safety net. That's very, very dangerous and risky, and they could just lose all their money on this because
for WWE or Fox?
For Fox.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Because I would like to point out right now, and again, I can't believe Fox would be stupid enough to not realize this. The audience they're trying to cater to, number one, if they are WWE fans in addition to that, they will not like this because they'll be like, no, there's no point to it. If they're not WWE fans, they already don't like WWE anyway. Why would they invest into this? They already think WWE is fake anyway. The majority of like the MMA fighter fans, like poo-poo WWE all the time. They always rip on that, just saying, oh, it's fake, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. Why would they invest into this? Because Fox is saying, oh, we're doing a legitimate sport? No. People won't invest just because Fox is saying, oh, we're going to make it a real sport. No. At the end of the day, it has a WWE logo on it. It's still WWE wrestling product. Why would they invest in it? I think if they do this, Fox is making a huge mistake. I don't think it's going to work. Because I think they underestimate their ability to sway an audience that's already made up its mind and has made up its mind for the last decade. And then to alienate an audience that has been with this company for the last, 5 decades. Maybe not quite that long, but a long-ass time.
Yeah.
They're basically double shooting themselves in the foot. They're basically taking a double-edged sword and stabbing themselves with both sides of it at this point. I think it's a completely wrong move if they do this. And Vince will just be laughing all the way to the thing saying, well, told you so. Yeah, we'll have to see what they do, but it's, from where I sit, it's not looking good because I don't think Fox is in the right mindset to take their several $billion investment and make a return on it. I think they're setting themselves up to get like a big goose egg back. Because I think it's going to be DOA. And I'm not saying cater to the WWE audience. I'm not saying keep it as it is now, but I'm saying give the WWE audience a reason to invest in the program. You know, you could completely change the format, make it more wrestling focused, that's fine. But to completely rip the heart out of it, no one's going to invest some time into it, especially on a Friday night. I mean, it's one thing to completely change the show to kind of piss on the fans. It's a whole other thing to do that and then put it in a time slot where the majority of people aren't going to want to put the time investment into it if there's no reason for it. Tuesday is vastly different to Friday. Like, they're literally setting themselves up for an all or nothing gambit here, and I think it's going to blow up in their face. My opinion. If this is the direction they're going to go, it's going to be a big old nuclear bomb in their face. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, like I said, I think at this point, Fox is like, we think we can make this work. We're willing to take a risk on it.
Now, I will say,
Hello?
Hello? I can hear you. Can you
Make
hear
sure
me?
you can still hear me. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say, though, the one thing on the other side of this, and thank Christ they have this if they're going to pull a nuclear bomb gambit like this,
Uh-huh.
they have one huge safety net that they're going to need if they're going to do this.
Uh-huh.
They just sold their movie studio to Disney.
Yep.
So they have way more than they invested into WWE sitting on a fucking, like, big fluffy ass airbed fucking safety net right now.
Yep.
But that's still not going to go over well if you have to go back to your investors to say, yeah, we just blew your billions of dollars for nothing.
What's the thing, though? It's kind of fine because that deal WWE was only $1 billion.
I thought it was a couple billion.
No, it's worth $1 billion from what I'm reading.
That's still a billion. That's still a lot of money.
It's $1 billion, but WWE just gave them $72 billion.
You mean Disney?
Yeah, Disney, I mean, just gave them $72 billion. So,
yeah, but still going back to the investors and saying we just blew $1 billion, that's not going to look good.
I suppose that's true.
I don't know. I just don't want to see Fox make a huge mistake with this because they don't understand the demographic. Because it seems like they don't understand the demographic that actually watches the show and the demographic they're trying to target with respect to the show. I think they're just assuming, because they trust us for sports, they'll trust us when we say, hey, WWE Wrestling, now sport. It's like, it doesn't quite work that way. Not when they have a predication toward WWE Wrestling, fake as shit, for like the last 10 years. It's not going to just change overnight. And I think that's what they're expecting it to do, and it's not going to. And they're going to have a rude awakening when their loyal viewers who watch sports turn around and say, yeah, right, and just laugh in their face as they don't watch the show. Because let's be honest, the MMA fans, they're just going to follow the MMA because that's what they watch. They don't want to watch fake-ass wrestling. So who's left to actually watch the program? Not your MMA fans. They're gone. Since you don't have MMA on your network anymore, they're gone. They're not your fans anymore. They're not your viewers anymore. So who are you catering to?
That's just it. They're trying to A, keep them around, and B, they're trying to bring in those other live, people that watch live TV, people watching the live sports shows. That's what they're trying to bring in.
But a lot of those watch the wrestling already anyway and are already fans, and we'll look at it and say, you've bastardized WWE, not watching it.
But
and
not really. I think you're overestimating the overlap between those fandoms.
Well, maybe. Well, I mean, they may get some of them, but again, Friday night, But then trying to keep the UFC fans, again, they apparently don't understand the UFC demographic if they think that's going to work. Again, UFC fans already think WWE is fake as shit, and it has thought that for the past 10 years. What's going to make them change their mind overnight? Like, I don't see anything there for the UFC fans. Like, no, I'm just going to invest my time in watching UFC on whatever network they went to. Fuck you. And to be honest, if I was a UFC fan that had that mindset of WWE is fake as shit, I would probably look at Fox trying to hawk this to me as a slap in the face, saying, "Wait, you're trying to hawk me fake fighting as a UFC fan? Are you serious right now?" Like, I think trying to do that is going to insult the UFC fans more than anything else. That they're going to try to hawk this fake shit to them to try to retain them as viewers. That's going to reek of desperation. And they're not going to buy it because UFC fans are as savvy as WWE fans. They're not stupid.
Fair enough.
And we know they are because we know one, and we know he's not stupid. Actually, we know two, and neither of them are stupid.
I don't know. There's an interesting note in an article that's going around from a few days ago that apparently Fox put out their sizzle reel advertising stuff for the fall, and in particular, one notable thing that was advertised for Fox's new SmackDown show was SmackDown superstar Brock Lesnar.
So after Brock loses to Seth, he's going to jump to SmackDown?
I don't know. He'll probably be gone for a while and then come back. I don't know, but we'll see.
That would be an interesting addition to SmackDown.
Also, other articles that are going around from a few weeks ago are reporting that Fox is encouraging WWE to produce edgier content and, quote, stop giving in to PC culture, end quote.
Thank you. That I agree with. For once, I agree with Fox. Yes, that needs to spread throughout all of WWE because fuck Vince and his old man mentality.
That's might have to bring a bigger rating and edgier content, but in fact, WWE's decision to move TGPG was self-imposed. It's for Raja. Ironic. Reports that Fox is looking for WWE to produce a more edgier product and that they aren't looking to give in to the PC culture that currently dominates WWE's programming, which is kind of interesting to hear.
The thing is, we want you to. The thing is, if what you have said is true outside of what you said before, that's kind of hypocritical because it's like we want you to produce edgier content without storylines. It's like, wait, what? No. If you're gonna produce edgier content, keep the storylines. It's gotta make better storylines, and that's gonna draw people in.
Yeah.
And you would think Fox, of all people, would understand what WWE actually is, considering what like TV shows and stuff they have on their network, not the sports stuff, but everything else. Because if you think about it, what WWE really is it's basically a young adult kind of soap opera where the characters fight it out every week. And that's what keeps people coming back. And that's why storylines are so important. And that's why people are all over Vince about storylines, is because in a soap opera, the thing that keeps the soap opera viewer coming back is the continuing storylines every week on that soap opera. It's the interactions between the characters. And when that is shit, people don't care. That's the same with WWE because it's the same formula, except you add, actual combat in there where they're trying to beat the crap out of each other. Scripted, but actual combat. And to remove the storyline aspect from WWE, again, kind of removes the reason why people watch the show. And I don't think they're going to get the new viewers they want because the demographic they're going to go after is already made up their mind that WWE is fake shit and we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be kind of in this limbo land, barely hanging on, if that, where you have the uber faithful of the WWE that are watching it just because it's WWE, even if it's shit compared to, say, Raw, because at least Raw has storylines, and maybe the uber faithful of Fox, if there are any, who are watching it just because it's Fox, but still sitting here saying, WWE is fake as shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't see this working. But I like their direction of make it edgy. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean I want to see them hurt each other. That doesn't mean I want to see like TLCs every week, because no, that'll be bad. But like the tone of the stories and making things on PG, like if you go on to Matt Hardy's YouTube channel and watch the promos that he cuts on his channel, that's the shit that needs to be on the air. But he can't cut that on the air because some of the language he uses he can't use on TV. Because WWE specific PG. I mean, you can't have Matt Hardy going around saying, if I have to jump my ass off a fucking ladder, I'll do it. No, you can't do that. But he can do that on his YouTube channel. That's what you need. You need the heart, that being able to go that extra distance and not be beholden to PG and PC culture. You need that for the sake of realism when you when you try to what's the word I'm looking for? When you try to censor due to rating and culture like that, you're just strangleholding the potential realism of your product. And for something like WWE, it's the realism that hooks the viewer. That's what gets
Right.
them to come back, is the believability. And you also have to realize the WWE audience, they don't expect super realism. They know half the shit they see isn't believable. But as long as you evoke the feeling that it's realistic, that it's believable, that's all that matters. And you can't do that when you're not allowing the people to actually talk like people. Or when you're trying to hold back on what would actually happen in the situation because, oh, it's not PC, or, oh, that's beyond PG and we can't do that. It's like, and the other thing too is like, oh, we're trying to cater to kids. You do realize kids see far worse than this on a daily basis in the fucking schoolyard. Like, I don't know where you're getting off thinking you're trying to protect the kids, but yeah, they look at you and think it's a joke. So, they're like,
Yep.
that's not realistic. And they know it. Kids are a lot smarter than you give them credit for, and they see a lot more than you think they do.
All right. Well, this has been a very entertaining debate, and I hope the audience enjoyed it. But I think we need to move on to the actual programming.
We do.
That was a massive tangent right there.
Sorry, but you're the one that brought up Fox.
Fair. Anyway, leaderboards. Raw Women's Champion Rowdy Ronda Rousey up at the top at 523, followed by Finn Balor at 519. Daniel Bryan coming in at 510. Samoa Joe's at 457. Seth freaking Rollins at 439. Let's see. Bailey, one half of the women's tag champs, at 438, followed by Sasha Banks, the other half at 422. Akira Tozawa at 413. Dean Ambrose at 399, and eking his way in there is Baron Corbin at number 10 at 395.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go ahead and dig into this. Per the usual, we open with Monday Night Raw.
Indeed.
All right. So we open things up with the Shield.
Brown, brown, brown.
Burn out, burn out.
Burn out, burn out. Brown, brown, brown. Sierra Hotel, Indio Echo Delta.
Indigo.
Indigo. Sorry.
Sierra Hotel, Indigo Echo Lima Delta.
Thank you.
Shield. Anyway, so the Shield came out. Roman Reigns opened up by saying that life is short, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and if last night is the last time ever, then he has no regrets because he was in this ring doing what he loves with people he loves, and that these guys didn't let him down, and they never have. Roman said that he hasn't had a one-on-one singles match on Raw in over 5 months, and then they can correct that and have a match right here in Pittsburgh, and said that Ambrose has some business too, and he said that he didn't know what it is, and neither does Dean, so he wished him good luck.
Yeah, they've never let you down except for, I don't know, when Seth hit you in the back of the head with a chair.
Yep.
Kind of let you down there, big dog.
Mm-hmm. And then when Dean talks shit about you for having leukemia.
Yeah, talk about hitting a man when he's down.
Anyway, Reigns said that Rollins is the one that has the real business. The fans chanted "Slay the Beast," and Reigns said that that's what Seth is going to do, and that Rollins will beat Brock Lesnar and take the Universal title. And while he does it, the whole world is going to chant "Burn it down." Rollins got some hugs from his buddies, and they did the Shield pose. Shield theme played, and on the road to WrestleMania, the Shield is going their separate ways, which led to Rollins being left alone in the ring. Rollins was about to start talking about WrestleMania when he was interrupted by Paul Heyman.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And after his intro, Rollins did his own Brock Lesnar name yell and noted that Lesnar dominated Big Show, beat Samoa Joe, took Braun Strowman to Suplex City, annihilated Goldberg, that Brock Lesnar. And Heyman said that, yes, that Brock Lesnar. Rollins noted that Lesnar had a real tough time getting by Daniel Bryan, got pushed to his limit by AJ Styles, and that Brock Lesnar was this close to being beaten by Finn Balor. Heyman reluctantly added a yeah to that. Rollins said that Lesnar has a problem with guys of his size, speed, quickness, and ability. I've never really understood the difference between speed and quickness because they always use both of those in the same list of adjectives, and it annoys me. But anyway, with all due respect to those guys, there's one guy uniquely suited to beat Lesnar, and that's Seth freaking Rollins. 3 weeks is all he's got left because Rollins has taken the title and bringing it back to Monday Night Raw. Heyman replied that there would be no slaying of the beast. Rollins is running down names, but he's not telling the whole story. And Heyman pointed out that of the people that he named that came close to beating Lesnar were people that Lesnar had no time to prepare for. Pointing out that a lot of times these guys were switched into the matches at the last minute, like Bryan winning the title off of AJ 3 days before Survivor Series when they had their match. Same thing with Balor ending up in a match because Braun got himself suspended for destroying a car. And the same thing with freaking well, I guess AJ too. I guess it was all 3 of them. Anyway, so Heyman pointed this out, explaining that he's had time to, unlike those men said, he's had time to prepare for you, several months, in fact. And the fans booed, and Paul Heyman proceeded to call out the fans by saying, "There's no booing while Paul Heyman has the mic," which led to louder booing.
Of course.
And so Heyman noted that Jinder Mahal became AJ Styles, became Daniel Bryan, Strowman became Balor, and in every one of those cases, Lesnar had 5, 6, maybe 12 days at most to prepare for his opponent. And Rollins said that if Rollins wants to meet his client, let me introduce him. And Heyman then showed a Brock Lesnar video package.
I'm surprised Seth hasn't pulled the trigger yet, and I don't know if it's because he's forgotten or because WWE has told him not to.
Okay.
But he just ran out and listed people that very nearly beat Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he didn't pull out the one man that has beaten Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
Okay.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Hmm?
WrestleMania 31. Seth cashed in his money in the bank to be added to the main event, and it became Seth versus Roman versus Brock. Guess who got pinned in that match by Seth freaking Rollins?
This is true, but that would feed into Paul's argument of he had no time to prepare for you. Lesnar didn't know you were going to be in the match, and he had already been beaten up by Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but then Seth Rollins could be like, number 1, a win is a win. Number 2, if he was a real champion, he would always be prepared.
Yeah.
It would be the perfect way of getting in of Seth saying, I'm a better champion than Brock ever was because I'm always prepared. Win or lose, I'm always prepared. I don't make excuses for when I lose. The better man won. And that's why I'm a better champion than Brock Lesnar. It's perfect. It writes itself.
Oh, you mean like that time he lost the first ever Universal title match to Finn Balor and then who had a broken arm, by the way, and then made a bunch of excuses about it?
Yeah, well.
Anyway, Heyman followed up saying that ever since Rollins won the Royal Rumble, Lesnar has been preparing for him, and that if Seth thinks he knows Brock Lesnar, he doesn't know Brock Lesnar. And Paul Heyman then made a comment about somebody else that Seth Rollins doesn't know.
Although Seth Rollins could make the argument, yes, Paul, but I wasn't the champion yet, and therefore I was not prepared.
Yeah. Anyway,
and he would also make the argument. He could also make the argument, and the one time that I had to relinquish a title, guess what? I injured myself, so technically I am an undefeated champion. I have never lost. Well, I've only lost once holding a belt to Dean Ambrose, and you know what? The better man won.
Yeah.
Right? Because literally, that's the only time he ever. Well, he's lost. I think didn't he lose it once to fucking. What's his face? Mr. Claymore or something, or Ziggler or something. But he could just say, well, I was prepared for those. They won.
Yeah, lost the Intercontinental title, yeah.
But as far as like the big main title is concerned, he's never lost the main title ever whenever he's held it.
I suppose that's true.
Like he could make a huge strong argument just for the sake of arguing against Paul Heyman, and it would be great, and it writes itself.
Apparently not enough.
You missed an opportunity, Seth.
Yeah. What Seth can't write is getting attacked from behind by Shelton Benjamin.
I thought he was going to attack Kurt Angle, but okay.
No, Shelton Benjamin showed up and proceeded to hit Seth Rollins with 3 German suplexes.
Okay, then.
Hashtag Suplex City.
Hashtag world's greatest suplexes?
I guess. Well, anyway, this led to a break, so we'll take a moment to award some points here before we continue.
Promo, and 1 move point?
Well, it was 3 separate suplexes, so it's 3.
Unless you count it as Suplex City, which is 1 move.
Except that he released each time.
Oh, okay. Well, 3 points then.
Yeah, it wasn't it was a suplex release, suplex release, so.
Fair.
I think. I'm pretty sure he released each time, so.
Fair.
So anyway, that's going to be a promo for Seth freaking Rollins. And a promo for Paulus. And technically, Benjamin did 3 moves, which gives him an assault, actually. So it's actually 7 points to Shelton.
But does it count if it's the same move?
I believe the rule is if it's more than 1 move, that it counts as an assault.
All right.
And he blatantly jumped the dude from behind, too. Come on.
Fair.
So that would be 7. Puts him at 33. Yeah. So, following the commercial break, we come back to Shelton Benjamin and Seth Rollins having a match.
I take it Seth Rollins kicks his ass.
Seth Rollins does win this match. During the course of the match, and this is very well done, Paul Heyman proceeds to seat himself at commentary.
5 points to Paulus.
Indeed. And I will award that. And Paul Heyman did a great job on commentary.
Of course he does. It's his one thing.
As he was having some conversations with the commentators during the course of the match. And Cole, I think it was Cole, started asking Paul about, Shelton Benjamin is here as a friend of Brock Lesnar. And Paul Gregnan said, I don't know if I would say friend, Michael Cole. Shelton Benjamin is certainly a trainer of Brock Lesnar. Shelton and Brock Lesnar did attend the University of Minnesota together, and Shelton did help prepare Brock to enter the WWE.
Huh.
Which is true.
Didn't know that.
Yep. In fact, they originally came to WWE together as a tag team known as according to John Canton, known as the Minnesota Stretching Crew.
Huh.
I assume they were in OVW during that, given the time frame.
Fair.
So there you go.
Well, he totally had the best tag team partner in the world at that time.
Yep. So anyway, they talked about Shelton Benjamin's experience with Brock in the past and how he sort of trained Lesnar and therefore has, experience with Brock Lesnar and why he would do this. And there was a pretty great line where the commentators were kind of interrogating Paul about Shelton being here and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what he said. I don't remember the exact words Paul used, but so he was asked something to the effect about, why Shelton was here.
Mm-hmm.
And the joke came about where he was sort of like, Heyman was just like, denying. He was like, did I bring Shelton with me? And, something like, did I You know, what was it exactly said?
Want to go take 5 minutes and go find the video
No, it's not worth it.
and spit it out.
I'm trying. The idea was generally, did I bring Shelton Benjamin with me, and you know, basically bring him here to do all this, or something to that, something like that.
Dude, it's gonna bug you. Take 5 minutes, go find the video.
No, I'm not gonna go waste time on the fucking video.
Just stop pussyfooting around and just say stuff and move on.
I am saying stuff.
You keep saying the same thing over and over again because it's bugging the shit out of you that you can't get it right.
I don't fucking care. Stop. But the joke at the end, after the repeated denials of, no, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, was Paul Heyman basically finishing up by saying, now, did I pay Shelton Benjamin to jump Seth Rollins from behind? Yes. That was the punchline of the exchange. And Michael Cole just literally laughed out loud that Paul Heyman, you just admitted that you paid Shelton Benjamin to attack Seth Rollins from behind. You realize that. And there was also another great line while they were talking about Brock Lesnar, coming back to how Lesnar goes out of control and does whatever the hell he wants, and Cole even and not sounding nearly as sarcastic as it should have, was like, talking about Brock Lesnar will come and he'll do whatever he'll do whatever he wants because that's what he does. Maybe he'll beat me up again.
Yes.
Oh, we'll see. Anyway, being these two men, this was a great back and forth match. There was evasions of finishers. There was teases of moves. Near the end of the match, Rollins hit a sling blade and then a springboard clothesline. And Benjamin came back and hit Rollins with two more Germans and then picked Rollins up and teased that he was going to hit him with an F5. But Rollins broke free, hit two kicks and a curb stomp.
So Shelton showed why he's the gold standard.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. No more fuck-ups.
Yep. He also had new ring gear.
Yeah, figures. He hasn't been on TV in a while.
Yeah, sounds good. So it worked out. So anyway, we'll go to the scores here. Let's scroll down on this one. So we already did Paul versus points. So Shelton Benjamin lost this match. He's going to get 5 for being in the match, 3 for evading the first curb stomp attempt.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of moves.
Is 8. Yep. 1 for a suplex is 9, and 2 for a different suplex, and 2 for 2 German suplexes is 11 points to Shelton Benjamin.
So he went out of his way to wrestle like Brock Lesnar?
Just with the F5. I mean, he was using the. I mean, Shelton Benjamin has always done German suplexes anyway. That's not really new for him.
But just weird that those are the only 3 moves he did the entire match.
Well, he did other moves, just not his. I mean, he did. Like I said, he did a headlock and a shoulder tackle. There was a knee to the face, a clothesline. There was some other stuff. Maybe it was one of his way to show off his Brock moves. I don't know, but either way, he gets 11 points.
Fair.
Yeah, so that's going to put him at 44, actually. Meanwhile, Seth freaking Rollins gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing is 25, and 4 moves for the blockbuster, the sling blade, the springboard clothesline, and a curb stomp would be 29 points to Seth freaking Rollins.
Ooh.
I have 65, and 9 is 474. All right, rolling on.
Seth freaking rolling on.
Yep. Finn Balor makes his entrance. Passes Rollins on the ramp, and they shake hands during that exchange. And Balor got out of the ring, and then Lashley's face came up on the screen.
Okay.
That's kind of back and forth. Anyway, there was a commercial break, and we came back to the announce team mentioning WWE has 1 billion followers on all social media platforms. And Lashley made his entrance, this time without Lio Rush. Because Lio Rush got beat up by Braun Strowman last week. And Finn Balor proceeds to defend his title against Bobby Lashley. And Lashley was very aggressive early on in the match, but Balor managed to come back with a couple of drop kicks and then a running kick while on the apron. This led to a mid-match commercial. We came back to Lashley in control, and basically Lashley was trying to wear Balor down to slow the match. I did some suplex and then an armbar. Was trying to slow things down. Balor counter with some boots to the face. It's a forearm. Trying to strike him, stun him. He got the double foot stomp, but Lashley caught Balor on a charge and slammed him into the turnbuckle. And they hit him with a few more moves. And eventually Balor came back with a sling blade takedown. And then the dropkick into the turnbuckle. But when he went up to the top rope, the bell started ringing, and the camera panned over to reveal Lio Rush was ringing the bell. And when that happened, this distracted Finn Balor. So Lio Rush grabbed the Intercontinental title and ran up to the apron. Balor kicked Lio Rush in the head to knock him down. But when he went for the springboard attack, Lashley had enough time to recover and speared Finn Balor out of midair and won back the Intercontinental title.
So they just buried Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Great. Fuck you, Vince.
Why are you complaining? He's not on your team.
Because I like Finn Balor. He finally got a title, and they just stripped him of it. I'm like, fuck you.
Except realize that might make sense.
Oh?
We're going into WrestleMania season. There's a rumor he's going to fight The Undertaker.
Oh.
Kind of, turn over the reins of being the new supernatural guy.
That could be interesting.
There was rumors of that, so that may be what they're doing, and that may be why they didn't want the title involved in that feud, so they could book a separate Intercontinental title match.
Wow, if they do that, big middle finger to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Sorry, Husky Harris. You've been demoted. Welcome to the Lake of Reincarnation.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Bobby Lashley wins the Intercontinental title. So props to him. So let's go to the points here. So Finn Balor is going to get 5 points for being in the match. He's going to get 3 drop kick points, 1 for another running kick, 3 for escaping a powerbomb, a basement drop kick, a double foot stomp, a sling blade, and another drop kick, which puts Finn Balor at 16 points. 35. Lio Rush is going to get 6 points for an interference. The 309. And then let's hear. Bobby Lashley is going to get 20 points for winning the match, 40 points for winning the IC title is 60, 5 for competing is 65. And he gets, move points, flatliner, belly to back suplex, and countering Finn's attempt at a springboard maneuver, plus the match-ending spear, puts Bobby Lashley at a grand total of 71 points.
Fuck me.
That would be, let's see, 39. What did I say? It was 71? 71. I'll just do the math. It'd be easier if I just get the calculator out. I'm not going to waste time.
Hey, Jim.
Yep.
You're in Excel. It's a grandiose calculator. Just put it in the cell next to the thing. Instead of wasting time with the calculator, it's easier that way.
Nah, I got it right here. It puts him at 440. Hey, that can't be right.
No. Should end in a 2. It's 71.
Oh, it's 71. I put it in 79. Whoopsie.
You're an idiot.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Yep. Yeah, don't forget Excel is just an overbloated calculator.
All right, so it's 433 then.
You're not paying attention to me.
It's an overloaded calculator. I hear you. I don't care. Rolling on. Lashley celebrated with the win with Rush while the announcers talked about their being buddies again. We then come backstage to Baron Corbin and Charlie Caruso, queued up a video of Corbin's comments last October, saying that he wished Roman Reigns the best in his leukemia treatment, but if he comes back, he hopes it's not to Raw. And Corbin admitted that he said it, then he won't worry about hurting people's feelings. He wanted Reigns gone. He wanted Reigns gone from Raw, but mentioned there's no way that Reigns is 100%. While claiming that basically say there's no way Roman Reigns is 100% after the leukemia treatment and the Shield match last night. And that Baron Corbin claims that he's the one that's picked up the ball that Roman dropped when he left, and that he's been carrying Raw ever since. And Corbin says that tonight he's going to house train the big dog.
Wow.
Oh, promo to Corbin. All right. Moving along. After all of that, we throw to a commercial break and then come back to Rowdy Ronda Rousey, who came out with her title on shoulder and basically got in the ring. There was a video about Fastlane showing Rousey punching Becky Lynch in the face to guarantee a triple threat at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And she told the crowd to shove it and said that she didn't care about what these bandwagon bitches think. Reminded the fans that they chanted, "You deserve it," after she was beaten with a stick. And said that the fans are cowards just like their hero Becky Lynch. She said that the fans could boo her behind a barricade, but they wouldn't do it to her face. And then added that there is no sanctuary for Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and that she'll embarrass and humiliate them both on the grandest stage of them all. Rousey added that she disqualified Charlotte at Fastlane so that she could beat Becky and Charlotte and prove that the WWE are carny con artists. She said the WWE has the permission to make this a handicap match, and that anybody who believes in them is a joke.
Okay, then.
So, promo to Ronda.
Sounds like she's a much better heel on the mic.
Yeah. So she's a better stuff. There's actually, it's mentioned here in the report, that there's actually a series of YouTube videos on Ronda's YouTube channel talking about basically kind of like a fake shoot promo where she talks about basically like calling Becky Lynch Rebecca Quinn, which is her real name, and talking about how wrestling's fake and she doesn't care anymore and shit like that. And now there's a meme, which is a shot of Ronda sitting on like a couch getting her hair worked on by some stylist and like putting text on like the meme like he's got here, for example, it's the John Report. He's not reporting anything. It's a fucking review. That's the kind of meme that they're using that picture for now.
That's awesome. I approve of that meme.
Yeah.
And the meme is not wrong.
No. There's another one in this recap later that I'll bring up when we get there.
Oh, WWE actually memed it themselves?
No. I mean that John Canton has made some of the memes and put them in here, or taken them and put them in here.
Okay, fair enough.
In the report. Anyway, moving on. So after Ronda Rousey's promo, we do all that thing. Let's see. After all that happened, she was interrupted by Dana Brooke.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dana. Well, at least you got me some points.
And Brooke said that we've heard enough of her venom. At this point, and Dana made the point that at this point, she has nothing left to lose.
She's not wrong.
And said that she's not going to let Ronda disrespect the WWE, the WWE Universe, or the women's locker room. And Brooke said that she's not a big-time fighter, but she loves the WWE and this business, and that she has worked her tail off to earn the respect of the women's locker room and prove that she belongs there. And said that each and every week on Raw, she fights for a chance and doesn't even get the time of day, let alone a match. She might not be on TV, and she's not a household name like Rousey, but all she wants is a chance. And then she said that normally Rousey has an open challenge after a pay-per-view, and Dana is here to accept that open challenge. So great promo to Dana Brooke there. That was well done. Unfortunately, Ronda didn't have a match with her. Ronda just beat the shit out of her.
Okay, then.
As soon as Brooke got in the ring, Ronda kicked her back out of the ring, then armbar whipped her around for a while, hit a Piper's Pit slam, and then grabbed the arm of Dana Brooke like she was going to put in the armbar, but the referees jumped in the ring and broke it up. And some fans of the front row were booing at her not doing the armbar. And credit to Ronda, who credit to Ronda popped back at them and said, Ronda popped back at them and was like, "You want to?" It was something like, "You want to see an armbar? $60."
Wow.
Which I guess is the estimated cost of a UFC pay-per-view buy.
Oh, here, I thought she was charging them for the cost of an autograph session.
No, she was just saying if you want to see me do my signature moves, you've got to pay for pay-per-view for that. I don't give that shit away on free TV.
Psst, Ronda, pay-per-views are only $10. You're in the WWE now. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but that's her point. Is that she thinks WWE is fake and bullshit, so she would be going by UFC standard.
Oh.
That's like her shtick now. So anyway, that's an assault to Ronda Rousey. And 1 point for the Piper's Pit Slam. It's 5 points to Ronda for that.
What do you think? Pipe bomb for the comeback on the fan?
Yeah, I'm going it. 538 for Ronda then. Video package about Batista.
Did you give Dana Brooke her points?
I did. I gave Dana Brooke 5 points for a promo, did I not?
Oh, I don't remember. You might have. I just don't recall hearing that, but that's fair.
Well, I'll give her another 5 points. Fuck it. It's not going to change anything. Anyway, advertising for shit that's coming up. Commercial break. And we return for a commercial break to a tag team match play between Black and Ricochet taking on Rude and Gable. A match that ended with Rude eating a Black Mass kick.
You know what?
What?
I have to wonder if this whole main roster call-up for Black and Ricochet isn't a complete fake out.
Okay.
Because they're like highly legitimizing them as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a tag team because they're a tag team as I pointed out in the last episode, because they're in the Dusty Rhodes Open Challenge.
Right, the Dusty Rhodes Classic, yeah.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes Classic. I'm wondering if they're not legitimizing them as a tag team so that they can go forward and win the Dusty Rhodes Classic and become the NXT Tag Champions.
I can see it. Sound strategy.
Or am I giving Vince too much credit because wasn't he the one that asked for them to be called up and didn't tell Triple H?
True. I wouldn't be surprised if they're being booked as a legitimate tag team so that they can invariably win a set of SmackDown tag titles and carry a tag division on Fox's new SmackDown show.
Or that, but that's kind of a random-ass tag team. And truth be told, I'd rather see Ricochet on 205 Live.
That's fair. But his talent will be wasted on that crappy show.
Yeah, Black's talent's kind of wasted in tag team matches. He should be like the world champion.
Fair enough. Anyway.
Just like Rude's talent is wasted in the tag team division.
Well, in any case, Black and Ricochet win the match.
Okay, then.
So let's go to the scores for that. So, we'll do the losers first. Chad Gable gets 5 points for being in a match, and 1 point for a German suplex is 6 points to Chad Gable. And then Bobby Roode is going to get 5 points for being in the match, and then 3 points for a spine buster, a suplex, and a neck breaker. 8 points to Bobby Roode. So I'm at 209 live. And then on the winning team, let's see. Ricochet is going to get 15 points for being on the winning team, 5 for competing in 20, and 4 moves. Let's see, 4 moves, which include a springboard kick. What the hell else? Oh, and 3 for evading a German suplex attempt by Chad Gable. So that would be 24 points to Ricochet. 87-07-217. And the winner of the match, Aleister Black, who is going to get 20 points for winning, 5 for being in the match, is 25. 1 for a kick to the side of the head, and 1 for the Black Mass is 27 points to Aleister Black. 5 and 7 would be 212. All right. Cool. All right. So after this, we have our moment of bliss, hosted by Alexa Bliss. After we see some superstars hanging out with some kids with cancer. Always nice to see that. Alexa came out making her entrance and said that she has a scoop, and that scoop is the identity of this year, the host of this year's WrestleMania.
Okay. Is it her?
And she said that hosting WrestleMania is a special honor, mentioning previous hosts, including Kim Kardashian, The Rock, and The New Day. And she announced that this year's host of WrestleMania is Alexa Bliss.
I approve.
And Bliss acts shocked by her own announcement and said that it's such an honor for the WWE Universe and you are welcome. And said that WrestleMania will be hosted by the brightest star on the grandest stage of them all. That's your moment of bliss. And she headed out.
Okay then.
So, promo to Alexa Bliss.
So basically, it's Alexa, we got nothing for you right now, but you're great on the mic. Just keep talking.
Pretty much.
Fair.
Replays of shit from last week. Braun Strowman is interviewed by Charlie Caruso, who, after the clips of Colin Jost and Michael Che last week, is informed that they are the special correspondents for WrestleMania. And Strowman said that he liked Jack and Colin Jost up by the throat against a wall last week. And some guy showed up and told Braun Strowman that his car arrived. And Strowman replied, "What car?" Which cued a commercial break. And then we come back from the commercial break. Braun Strowman is in the parking lot with a red convertible, had a big bow on it, and a random guy said that the cast of SNL got him the car. And there was a letter from Colin Jost, basically saying, Strowman, hey, sorry about last week. Here's a car. Can we call it even?
Nice.
Strowman liked the look of the car, but then complained about it being a tiny car that he couldn't fit in, and he proceeded to rip the door off, broke the windshield, ripped the hood off, and basically just wrecked the car up. And then said that the next time he sees them, we'll be live from New York. So I guess that means he'll be on Saturday Night Live soon, maybe.
I could see him on Saturday Night Live.
I mean, either that or it just means WrestleMania when they're, live in technically New Jersey, but they call it New York.
Yeah, I could see him being a host, though, because I think he's funny.
He is very funny, but that would be a big break of character would be the problem.
Have you seen the photos he puts on his Instagram?
I know, but most people haven't.
I think they're way past that point already, dude.
Yeah.
If Vince cared, he would have put a stop to the Instagram.
And by the way, if you want to know the entire reason why WWE is going through all the effort of putting this, did this segment regarding Colin giving him a car, would you like to know why?
Sure, why not?
I think this is worth knowing. The reason for all that is, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for a second. Hi, I'm back. We're going to flip over here. The reason, as with most things, is, of course, money. In this case, specifically because they want to sell this.
So they had to dream up a reason for that to exist.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, WWE, I hope that makes you like $30,000 or however much the car was worth.
Mm-hmm. We got to remember, Vince has never really cared about wrecking cars. I mean, he poured concrete in a fucking, what was that? What was that fancy fucking convertible The Rock had?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that damn thing was. He poured concrete and destroyed that shit.
True.
Blew up a perfectly good limousine. I mean, Vince has no problem destroying cars. I mean, Braun has ripped apart several cars.
True.
They do that. But yes, you can. I'm assuming you can go buy this Wreckin' Slam Mobile available now.
I love that you can pull the steering wheel off.
Yep. Anyway, let's go back over to the scores.
Yes.
So anyway, that's a promo to Braun Strowman.
Okay.
All right, now. Anyway, we go back to Elias, who's in the ring saying that he would not, saying that he apparently when he, because by the way, I should mention for the relevance of Elias's promo that Raw from this week happens to be emanating from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You suck. You suck.
Something like that.
Well, that's where he lives.
Yep. Well, it's also where Elias is from.
No.
And Elias said that he said to himself that he would not return to his hometown until he was a superstar that people could believe in. And then added, "Here I am."
Superstar you believe in? Sorry, you're not Drew Gulak.
Who wants to walk with Elias?
You suck? Come on, he has to be the one to come out.
Well, not quite. Elias said that it's really a miracle that he is such a success that he is, because statistically speaking, if you're from Pittsburgh, you're going to be an enormous waste of life.
Wow, now he has to come out.
Elias said that when he got back into town, he was reminded of how miserable the people here are, and that those miserable people will hold back the few good people like himself. And I mentioned that that's the same advice that he gave Antonio Brown. That's a football player who left.
Fair.
And he said he told Tony, get out of this city, and he did it while at it. He looked great in black and silver because he's now playing for the Raiders.
Fair.
And no, it was originally not Kurt, because Kurt has more important shit to do. Instead, Elias's only interruption that he deserves at his current level of relevance in the company is No Way Jose.
Oh.
Who marches down with a conga line. No Way Jose is now sporting some bright-ass neon green dreads, by the way.
Okay, then.
And banditly, Elias drop-kicked him, and then beat up two dudes in the conga line, and then stomped on Jose some more, and then hit him with a drift away on the ramp.
Like I said, nothing more than an annoyance.
Yep. So that is so anyway, that's a promo to Elias, and then assault to Elias.
See, Kurt should have come out and been like, how dare you assault our hometown like that?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Elias gets 5 for the promo, 4 for an assault, 1 for the drift away. It's 10 points to Elias for that whole thing. No Way Jose gets 5 points for showing up. And as we're going to see when we get around to scoring next week's show on Saturday, yeah, this is probably going to be a WrestleMania pre-show match.
What, Elias beating up some poor schmuck with a conga line that has no talent?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair.
Let's just say next week involves a conga line, heavy machinery, and No Way Jose in a mask.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Why is he in a mask?
Because he was hiding in the conga line so he could surprise Elias.
Oh.
Which hilariously is actually explained, because Corey Graves is like, why is No Way Jose hiding in his own conga line? And Cole's like, well, so he could surprise and jump Elias.
Oh.
So, anyway, that all happened. We then have a video package about the next inductees for the WWE Hall of Fame this year, the Harlem Heat.
No, can you dig that? Sucker!
That's right. Booker T and Stevie Ray It's noted that in
WC,
in WCW they were the 10-time tag team champions,
10 time.
pretty much, but never wrestled in WWE together. And this will be Booker T's second induction because he was inducted as himself solo a few years ago.
Now he'll have one ring for each hand.
Pretty much. Insert Ronda Rousey meme. Harlem Heat, WWE Hall of Fame. They're actually from Houston.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lacey Evans made her entrance and did her "I'm a Sassy Southern Belle" walk.
So still doing nothing of importance or consequence.
Pretty much. This week she upgraded to walking over and waving a fan in Renee Young's face.
She's going to try to start a feud with Renee Young?
I don't know. I think she's just trying to be annoying.
Okay.
The rumors are having she was in for a very huge push, but we'll see.
Well, so far she's done nothing except make people question why she's even there.
Yeah. Anyway, it puts her at 68. Next up, we see some Fastlane shit that happened. Namely, at Fastlane, Natalya tried to save Beth Phoenix from Nia Jax, and that didn't go so well.
Nia Jax walked over to the announcer table and beat up Beth Phoenix?
No. Following the end of the women's tag team match that they lost, they were beating the shit out of Bayley and Sasha mercilessly, and Beth Phoenix had enough of that shit, went in the ring to try to stop them.
Oh.
And then got beat up. And then Natalya came down and got beat up.
Okay, then.
So anyway, Natalya made an entrance saying that after what Jax and Tamina did to her friend, it made Natalya realize who has her back. She thought Ronda Rousey had her back, but I guess not. So that partnership is over. And Natalya said,
"You really think Beth is going to trust you after you fucking stabbed her in the back and tossed her out of the Royal Rumble?"
It's every woman for herself in that match. It's understandable. Well, anyway, made Natalya realize who has her back. So Natalya said that she thought Ronda, but she didn't trust Jax or Tamina, but she could trust her best friend. And this led to Beth Phoenix coming out.
Okay.
And so Natalya, with Beth Phoenix in her corner, had a one-on-one match against Nia Jax with Tamina in her corner. Nia started off with a running clothesline, and Tamina held Natalya's leg so that she couldn't get out of the corner, and then Nia Jax hit her with a body avalanche splash. This led to Beth Phoenix attacking Nia Jax and immediately ending the match at a DQ.
Okay, then.
And post-match, Beth Phoenix threw Tamina out of the ring. So let's see here. That's going to be accompaniment to Beth and Tamina.
So is this the return of Beth Phoenix?
Kind of, yeah.
So should we retroactively give her 4 points for an assault, or at least an attempted assault at Fastlane?
I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, then.
So anyway, let's see here. So Beth Phoenix is going to get accompaniment and interference.
And
also
assault.
Yeah, we don't only give assault points for an interference attack.
Right, that's true.
So I'll put Beth Phoenix down here, and she will get 11 points for that.
How come Beth Phoenix is all the way over on the left?
Because I have to center her.
Yeah.
It's a default. Anyway, Tamina will also get accompaniment and interference for holding Natalya's leg, so 11 points will go to Tamina.
Tamina.
2, which will be 202. Yeah. Spoiler alert for this week's Raw that we'll cover on Saturday. WrestleMania, Jax and Tamina versus Pin Up Strong.
Yeah, I figured as much. Pin Up Strong should stick around and make a bid for the tag team titles.
I agree, although that's not what's happening come WrestleMania.
Well, no, they're going to have to beat ostensibly the number one contenders for the women's tag team titles.
Who's that?
Nia and Tamina.
Well, they're not getting a title match at WrestleMania. They're going to deal with Pinup Strong.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, if SmackDown is any indication, the title defense is apparently going to be the Iconics.
Oh.
Anyway, and then let's see here. So Nia Jax wins the match by disqualification because Beth attacked her. So Natalya will go first, and she'll get 5 points for being in this match. That's about it. And then potential DQ, and then Nia will get 5 points for being in the match. And won't lose anything because she didn't get herself DQ'd. Okay, done and done. Well, we go to a commercial break and we come back to the game. Who comes out to the ring in a leather jacket, fists taped? And Batista then made an entrance wearing a shiny jacket and dress pants with his fancy shades on, and is accompanied by a cadre of security guards.
Apparently, he does not walk alone.
No. Hunter wondered if Batista was going to come down to the ring, or if he was going to stand on the ring, or if he was going to stand up there on the ramp looking like a nose ring model. And Hunter mocked the stupidity of this, and Batista said that he's not stupid. He paid attention to learn from 2 of the dirtiest players in the game, him and Ric Flair. That the security is for his protection, while adding that he, basically asked Hunter, "Where's your sledgehammer, Hunter? I know it's nearby. I'm not stupid." And I'm the one in control here, Hunter, and I want you to give me what I want. I'm not going to give you Dave, I'm not going to give you a damn thing. How many times have you quit this company and walked away, Dave? Why do you feel so entitled? Because you're a big Hollywood movie star? No, I'm not giving you a damn thing. And basically, Batista and Triple H went back and forth for several minutes, with Batista saying, "Give me what I want, Hunter, give me what I want." And Hunter saying, "I'm not giving you what you want, I'm not giving you a damn thing."
So a lot of pointless frivolity.
Frivolity back and forth. And finally, Hunter got fed up with this. And said, fine, Dave. Said, "You're such a big coward." They said, says, "You're such a coward, Dave. I guess I'm going to have to get out of this ring, come up there and tear through the Guardians of the Independence scene and kick your ass."
Did he actually say that?
Yes, he did. And it got a great reaction.
That's amazing. Pipe bomb. Holy shit. He actually called them out as independent wrestlers. That's awesome.
And made a Batista movie reference at the same time.
And it's a relevant one, too, because that's the whole reason he's probably going to quit and leave again after WrestleMania, because Disney probably won't let him wrestle.
Yeah.
Because, he has another movie to make now that, Disney pretty much backtracked on literally everything they said and rehired James Gunn.
Yeah.
So, Batista's got a 3rd movie to make for Disney.
Batista replied that, "No, we're not doing this your way. The reason I quit is because I wanted to get away from you always holding me down and shutting me out. I want you to give me what I want, or I will continue to hurt people that you love. Now, I'm not going to give you a damn thing. Face me like a man. I know you know what I want, Hunter, and you won't give it to me. Give me what I want. Give me what I want, Hunter. I want a match with you at WrestleMania. Give me what I want." And Hunter finally got pissed off enough that he booked the match. And so they booked that match, and then Hunter got into his super intense voice. Was like, "Our match at WrestleMania, Dave, won't be an ordinary match. There will be no rules. There will be no law. There will be no holds barred."
being Triple H, I thought he was going to say this is going to be completely unsanctioned, Dave. But no.
No, unfortunately, he's the boss. If he says I'm going to fight you, it's inherently sanctioning the match. That's the problem.
Not if he says the WWE won't sanction a match between me and anybody else. They won't risk that. So this isn't going to be a match, Dave. This is going to be a fight, completely unsanctioned. Because I don't give a damn about them. I'm going to beat your ass. Because let's be honest, he has a boss. And if they say no, then no.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, regularly, he has a boss. And if he says, son, no, yeah, he kind of has to not do it. Because what Vince says goes.
Well, in either case, that's a promo to Batista. And that's a promo and a pipe bomb to Triple H.
It's a great line.
It is.
The Guardians of the Independent scene.
Good times. So we throw to a commercial break. And we come back to the aforementioned Kurt Angle. Who, as I mentioned, had better shit to do tonight.
Okay.
Namely, Kurt Angle came out to the ring and basically made the announcement that he's been trying to make for about a month or two now, and that's that he's basically going to retire.
Okay.
He said that 23 years ago, he left Pittsburgh to go to the Olympic Games and won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. That led him to the WWE, and that he's beaten many Hall of Famers along the way. But Pittsburgh has always been his hometown. And then Angle said at WrestleMania, he is going to compete in his farewell match. He thanked the WWE, the guys he's competed with, and the fans, and said that he's had the time of his life. The fans chanted, "Thank you, Kurt." And Angle said that it's only right that he had one last match right here in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, before going to WrestleMania.
I take it he's in ring gear.
He is in ring gear, and he proceeds to have a match against, of all people, Apollo Crews. Kind of out of nowhere, but they put on a good match, though. They did some great back and forth. Graves talked up Angle about being a local hero, and of course, it wasn't a very long match. Angle won with an Angle slam, but Apollo did a good job of putting up enough of a fight that it made Angle look good. Now, props to Apollo Crews for doing that. Good times had by all. Oh. I just realized something there. I forgot to give Nia Jax a point for that corner splash in her match.
Fair.
That's right, 257. Okay. Anyway, back to the match at hand. Apollo Crews gets 5 for being in the match, 1 for a drop kick, 1 for a standing moonsault, and 3 for countering an Angle slam attempt at one point. It's 10 points to Apollo. $75. And then we've got Kurt himself, who gets 20 for winning a match, 5 for being in a match, and then 3 for evading a frog splash attempt by Apollo. 1 for his triple German suplexes, 1 for a belly-to-belly, and 1 for the Angle slam. Which will be, let's see, 20, 25, and 6, 31 points to Kurt Angle. Which is 93, which is 0313, 223. So, commercial break. Angle and Apollo Crews shared a hug after the match. Mutual respect between these guys, by the way. And then we go to a commercial break. And we come back to the commercial break to Roman Reigns.
All right, before we go to the big dog in interesting news, Kurt Angle tweeted out, so who do you guys think I should face in my final match, my retirement match? Part of me wants to go out against a legend like John Cena. Another part of me wants to go out, putting over a new guy because I've always prided myself on making the new guys look good. I don't know. What do you guys think? And then Shelton Benjamin replied saying, well, if you're looking for a WrestleMania opponent for your retirement match, I ain't doing anything. Hashtag Team Angle.
There you go.
And then Angle replied with, I'm game.
There you go.
So, teasing a match, maybe?
Well, if it is, it's not the one they booked on Raw.
Fair.
Spoilers, it's Corbin.
Ugh. That's the retirement match?
Purportedly, as of right now, anyway.
That's terrible.
I know.
Corbin doesn't deserve that.
Nope.
Roman Reigns deserves to retire The Undertaker more than Corbin deserves to retire Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but in all fairness, Corbin and Angle have had a really good feud in the last, year and a half, however long it's been going.
They do, and Corbin does kind of deserve to win it, but not in a retirement match. Come on.
Well, no. Realize, Kurt Angle doesn't have to lose the match to be retired. Kurt Angle will beat his ass and then retire.
I hope so.
It's not the Ric Flair if he loses he retires kind of retirement match. Anyway, Roman came into ring, but as Roman made his because Roman was scheduled to compete in the main event, but as he got into the ring, he got jumped by Drew McIntyre from behind.
Okay then.
Who threw a bunch of punches, threw Reigns shoulder first into a ring post. Reigns attempted to fight back on the floor, but without a lot of luck, he ate a Claymore kick to the face, and then he proceeded to put Roman's face against the ring post and then hit him with another Claymore kick.
So, OMG.
Pretty much. Doctors checked on Roman Reigns along with refs. Seth Rollins ran out and checked on him, and Roman said that he was all right, but Rollins told Reigns if he is not, he's not all right, it's okay. Reigns is like, I'll just have a little headache, I'll be fine. And they kind of walked Reigns up the ramp, holding him under the shoulders. So cut to the backstage area where Roman is walking with them backstage. And Dean Ambrose has shown up by this point and is walking with them. And Reigns is walking gingerly as Rollins and Ambrose told Roman to go get himself checked out. And Rollins then went into the room with Reigns when Ambrose said, fuck this, and instead immediately walked about 5 feet down the hallway to Triple H and said, I want to fight Drew McIntyre right now. No rules, no disqualification, right now. Triple H is like, all right, go do it.
Okay.
So Dean Ambrose proceeded back out to the ring and had a what was actually ended up being deemed a false count anywhere match, actually.
Okay.
Against Drew McIntyre for this evening's main event.
Okay.
But first, we will go ahead and we will give some, I don't know, let's give, Roman Reigns has to get something for that.
Well, I assume he was coming out for a match.
Yeah, we'll throw him 5.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to compete against Drew and then got jumped. I don't know. Anyway, so he gets 10 for that, and then we'll throw 3 to Rollins for just being around and supportive.
Well, I thought he was supposed to compete against Baron Corbin.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Wasn't it Baron Corbin who basically challenged him in the interview?
That's right. That's true. Okay, fair enough. That's what happened.
Which would make sense because Baron Corbin would have sent Drew out there to beat his ass.
Right. So anyway, Dean Ambrose went out there and proceeded to have a false count anywhere match against.
Are you going to give Drew his assault points?
Assault and 2 claymores to Drew.
And an OMG.
I guess.
For the claymore into the ring post?
Fair enough. So let's see, what does he get? So it's 4 on an assault and 2 claymores is 7, and 5 for the OMG would be 12. So that would put him at 394. Okay. So they back out there. They proceed to start having the match. They start off beating each other up on the stage. Ambrose hits McIntyre with a suplex. They brawl out of the floor, just all over the place. The fight continued over the barricade. They fought through the crowd. They fought up to a wall near the mezzanine area. McIntyre tossed Ambrose down a flight of stairs. The brawl continued in the crowd as they got back down to the arena floor, fighting more through the crowd. We saw they go to a commercial mid-match, and we come back to see clips of them. They were fighting through the merchandise area during the commercial.
Okay.
And McIntyre hit Ambrose with a belly-to-belly on the floor. McIntyre, they got back to the ringside area. McIntyre grabbed the stairs and hit Ambrose in the head with him a couple times.
Weapon use.
Yep. Then suplexed him on the floor again. They brawled back into the crowd. McIntyre screaming that he's going to take the Shield out one by one. Ambrose kicked him in the nuts. And McIntyre then grabbed a chair and threw it at Dean Ambrose's back to stun him for a minute and buy time. He then picked up Ambrose and threw him into into the nearby hockey boards because they're in the Pittsburgh Pirates arena that's normally a hockey arena.
Okay.
So he threw Ambrose into the hockey boards.
You mean the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Penguins, thank you, right? The
Pirates are the baseball team.
Right, thank you. The Pittsburgh Penguins hockey arena. And he throws Ambrose into the hockey boards. And then Ambrose put McIntyre into an equipment case and then rolled him into another equipment case. He had an elbow drop, got a 2 off of that. Then there was a belly-to-back suplex onto an announce table, which did not break.
Ow. Does that count as a table spot?
I suppose. Ambrose started throwing punches at McIntyre. Then McIntyre responded with a punch to the nuts in return for the earlier. And, of course, inappropriate hypocrisy. It was really pointed out that Renee Young started screaming at Drew for doing that. And Corey Graves was like, Dean did it to him first. Where were you? So that was kind of funny. Then in an OMG moment, as they were fighting over the announce table up there, Drew McIntyre reached the announce table, grabbed a pencil, and jabbed Dean Ambrose in the eye with a fucking pencil.
What?
Yeah.
How did they fake that and make it look real?
Easy. He was holding the pencil in his closed fist at the point. Obviously, it wasn't coming out of his fist, but he slammed his fist on Ambrose's eye to make it look like it was.
Oh.
Yeah. And he kind of held it there for a minute like he was forcing it in the eye. So that looked painful as hell. So that's an OMG, out of weapon use.
Fair.
And they fought up to the stage. Ambrose got thrown into the LED boards a couple times. Then Ambrose tried to throw a punch but fell down because he was exhausted. McIntyre beat him up some more. He then dragged Dean Ambrose to that, those little stairs on the left side of the stage that lead near the announce table there, like behind the announce table. There's those little stairs that go down.
Yeah.
He dragged Dean Ambrose over there, put Dean Ambrose's head in the stairs railing, and then hit him with a Claymore kick.
Ooh, another OMG.
Yep. McIntyre then pinned Ambrose on the floor behind the announce table.
Wow, Rollins didn't come out at all?
Rollins was busy making sure that Reigns didn't have a fucking concussion. And to excellent effect, for the last couple of minutes while he was getting destroyed, Renee Young just completely stopped talking. And then post-match, McIntyre climbed up on the announce table and posed, then saw that Dean was trying to get up, ran over and hit him with another Claymore kick for good measure.
Wow.
And Renee Young yelled at the sight of him getting kicked again, but she did stay at a distance. McIntyre then posed again while looking at the WrestleMania sign as the refs and the doctors checked on Dean. So we wrap this all up here.
So is it going to be Roman versus McIntyre at WrestleMania?
Possibly. Honestly, depending on the way this goes, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being Dean versus McIntyre at WrestleMania and Roman ended up fighting Lashley for the Intercontinental title.
Maybe if Roman's actually back, although Roman needs to get his revenge here.
Yeah, true. There's time.
Thank you, Drew.
Pretty much.
All kinds of points with Drew, but let's go over to
yeah. So
the
Dean
Ludican
Ambrose
Fringe.
is going to get himself 5 points for being in the match, 4 for being in the main event, and 3 for being in a specialty match.
Yep.
And then he's going to get points for a. Let's see. He's going to get 3 points for the use of the equipment cases as a weapon, and
Okay.
3 for the table spot.
Isn't it 5 for a table spot?
Oh, yeah, it's an OMG. 5 for the table spot. Thank you.
Mm.
And all said and told, that's going to put Dean at 20 points.
He didn't do any moves?
Not really, no. Just a lot of punches.
So this was pissed off Dean.
Yeah, that was
Fair.
the idea. He was raging at Roman being attacked.
Fair.
Was about 419 for that. Meanwhile, Drew Mac, the Scottish psychopath, is going to get himself, let's see here.
A lot of points.
Yeah. So 5 for being in the match, 4 for being in the main event, and 3 for being in a specialty, plus 20 for winning the match, 10 for winning a specialty match, and 5 for winning the main event.
Yeah.
Plus 3 for using the steel steps as a weapon.
Yeah. And plus 3 for the chair that he threw at Dean.
Yeah, 3 for throwing a chair at Dean. 3 for the pencil, plus an OMG for the pencil.
Plus an OMG for the claymore into the stairs.
Yep, an OMG on that, and also 1 for it being a straight up claymore kick.
1 for the claymore kick after the match.
Right.
Did he do any other moves during the match?
I don't believe so.
All right, total it up.
Yep. No, that's 30, 35, 42, 48, 51, 56, 59, 62, 65, 70 points to Drew McIntyre.
Wow. Scottish psychopath.
Pretty much. And he minus 6 is going to put him at 464.
He is the chosen one.
Apparently. He's in the top 10. That's for sure.
He's pretty freaking high in the top 10, actually. Holy crap.
He's high. Yeah. Might be number 3 at the highest. Anyway, let's go take a look at the scores.
I don't think he's number 3 because Daniel Bryan is number 3.
Okay, then he's number 4. Let's do a data refresh and see where we're at.
Sure.
All right, in the lead at 77-71 is Extremely Legit Yes Movement. Followed at 70-68 by the Righty Last Kickers, and I'm still in last at 50-09.
Yeah, well, if it makes you feel any better, right now you are the cruiserweight division.
Fair. That's not true. I don't have Humberto Carrillo.
Right now, he's not a factor. Right now, you are the cruiserweight division.
Okay. Anyway. So that all happened. Yeesh.
Yep, after Humberto Carrillo got eliminated and no one has only Lorcan, it just became all you for the entirety of that tournament.
Okay, then. I approve.
Yep. So WrestleMania is going to be you versus Tiff for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Okay.
Because she has Buddy Murphy, I think.
I don't know.
And I have a feeling you're going to win, so yeah.
Cool. Anyway, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Did you want to read SmackDown since you have the scores, or?
No.
Well, fuck you. SmackDown's in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
All right, let's see. The show opened with Shane.
Mm-hmm.
Made his entrance to boos. His WWE World Cup trophy was in the ring. He brought ring announcer Greg Hamilton into the ring and ordered him to announce, ladies and gentlemen, the best in the world, Shane McMahon. Shane then grabbed Greg by the face and made him do it again. And then he told him to do it one more time with conviction. So after that, Shane said that he's sick of it and he's sick and tired of all the people that have ever been in his life. You know, he's not just talking about the superstars in his life or the thousands of WWE employees. He's talking about all the people that have asked him to try to get ahead in life. He said people ask him about things like stock options. Well, if other people ask what he can do for them, and that stopped on Sunday when he beat the holy hell out of The Miz in his hometown. He says he's not the best in the world because he won a trophy or because he was a tag team champion. He's the best in the world because he was born that way. He claimed that from this point forward, he's going to do things for him, and that the sweet thing is the last thing The Miz saw was Shane choking him out in front of his dad's potato face. And Shane said that it felt so good, and that the attack on Miz set off a spark in him that's never going to go away, so get used to it. He wanted The Miz to listen up, and at the end of the day, Miz works for him. And that he enjoyed beating The Miz's ass, and he's going to continue that at WrestleMania. And told The Miz to get ready for another best in the world beating, and it's going to feel awesome. Well, there you go.
Miz is going to win, isn't he?
That seems likely. That is a promo to Shane. 39. So after that, we went to a fatal four-way tag team match playa between Ricochet and Black, the Hardy Boys. Oh, sorry, actually, let me correct this. Not a fatal four-way. It's an 8-man tag match. Sorry. It's Black, Ricochet, and the Hardys versus the Bar and Rusev and Nagamura. And someone made the recapper made the interesting point that the heel team were all non-Americans. Anyway, quick tags early on. Bunch of guys got in there for spots. Hardy's hit double team leg drops on Sheamus. Cesaro distracted Jeff, which led to a cheap shot. Rusev worked Jeff for a while. Jeff tried to break free, and Rusev pulled him down by the hair. More quick tags on the heel side. Jeff got a jawbreaker. Ricochet got a hot tag and jumped over Rusev's back. Head scissor takedown and a drop kick and kind of picked up the pace. When Ricochet went for a springboard attack, however, Rusev kicked him and sent him down to the floor. Commercial break. Come back to Ricochet with a back body drop on Sheamus in control again. Cesaro tags back in. Ricochet with a back body drop. Matt with a hot tag. Sent Cesaro head first into the turnbuckle, leading to the delete chance. Jeff tagged back in. Hardy's with a poetry in motion. Then Matt with a side effect. Sheamus with a bro kick on Hardy. Black with a kick on Sheamus. Rusev with a kick on Black. Ricochet with a missile drop kick on Rusev. Nakamura with a kick on Ricochet. And then Jeff Hardy got back into it with a twist of fate on Cesaro. Then a swanton bomb, but the heels broke up the pin. Then all the guys started brawling. And then the New Day came down and beat everybody else up and caused a no contest. After the match, New Day took out frustrations by beating up everybody at ringside, which included whipping guys into stairs, throwing guys into barricades, Woods with a running knee attack on Nakamura and some springboardy shit, Kingston with a Trouble in Paradise on Rusev. Just beating the hell out of everybody. The crowd was very behind the New Day on this attack.
Okay, then.
So, yeah.
Crowd doesn't know what they want.
Nope. Well, they want Kofi. It's what they want. I think that's been pretty clearly established.
Kofi's a B+ player. Deal with it.
Oh, I think Kofi's just more over than ever after this week's SmackDown. Vince is in full anti-Stone Cold mode.
Okay, then. So, Lana gets 5 for accompaniment.
Yes. You are correct, sir.
Well, I know I am. I have the scores in front of me.
Oh, right. Ha, forgot. Okay, what else?
So Ruru and Shin Shin get 10 points for showing up because they did fuck all.
AE dub. AE dub.
Right.
Okay.
Then the bar get 11 points for actually doing a move each.
Okay.
So much for being the bar. You're the bar of nothing.
32 goes 43. Okay.
All right, let's go to Alistair Black.
Okay.
Gets 11 points, again, for showing up and doing one move.
Okay.
You have Ricochet.
Yep.
Gets 15 points for doing more than one move.
Okay, it goes 47 and 5 is 232.
Let's go to the Hardy Boys. Let's go to Matt. Delete.
Well, he's still at the bottom. Okay.
He gets 13 points for doing a few moves.
45.
And Jeff gets 15 points for carrying this match with Ricochet.
That's fair. Okay.
And then let's go over to the New Day.
Yep. Who do you want first?
So Big E
Yep.
gets 10 points for just being there.
I think it's 10 points for interfering in a match, but yeah.
And an assault because they beat everybody up.
Right. Didn't Biggie hit a couple of suplexes?
Not according to Tiff.
Fair enough.
If you can find it in that recap, then we can add them, but I don't have the recap, so.
Let me see. Hang on. Go over here to the other recap and see if they mention it. Not that one, this one. And now, here we go. Let's see. It just says they beat him down. So, okay, moving on.
So Xavier Woods gets 11 points for pulling off a move.
All right.
And Kofi
Yep.
also gets 11 points for pulling off a move.
Okay, puts him at 277.
Now promo galore. Go. Like lots and lots of promos. And one match in there in the middle.
The Usos cut a promo from a random dark stairwell saying, "Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary."
5 points.
Let's see. Then Randy Orton comes out to the ring. Says he's got something to get off his chest. And noted that in 2002, AJ Styles was wrestling in high school gyms while Orton was debuting in the WWE. In 2004, Styles was shaking hands with a pulse, cough, ROH, cough, while Orton was the youngest world champion in WWE history. Orton said that in 2005, while AJ was getting a tan and hanging out with Dixie Carter, cough TNA, Orton was wrestling The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And he ran off the years, noting that he's been there a while, adding that this is the house that Randy Orton built. AJ comes out and got into the ring and said that for somebody that, looks down on the indies, Randy did follow AJ's career closely. Said that he did come from the indies and he's damn proud of it. Noted that guys like Orton weren't made for his world because he was built for the WWE. While Styles added that Orton would never have made it in his world with his, with his fancy pose and his knockoff diamond cutter. And Orton replied that Styles and his indie pals ripped people off while doing the too sweet hand gesture of the click. And Styles said that the indie pals are all over WWE and earned their spot in the roster rather than using their daddy to get them a job in the WWE.
Oh.
And noted that Orton had help with Triple H, Flair, and Batista to make sure he was taken care of. Orton countered, saying that by 2004, he already did more than most people in this business, while adding that he was currently a 13-time world champion, had won 2 Royal Rumbles, main evented WrestleManias, and every other pay-per-view. Orton said that the indie pals Styles brought up that Orton had gotten help from Evolution, Legacy, Rated RKO, and the Wyatt family. While Styles said that Orton has had a lot of pointing out that Orton's had a lot of babysitters around that time.
Damn.
He said that he's not going to be Randy's next victim, and Randy countered that AJ had no choice. AJ doesn't get to choose. And Randy added that this is his house. He's the landlord. The rent is due. And Styles can make the check out to the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. And Styles replied that if Orton wants his rent, he can just come and take it, and pointed at the WrestleMania sign.
Surprised Orton didn't try to RKO him.
Yeah. So, promo to those men.
Mm-hmm.
Promo to Orton.
Orton.
And then AJ Styles. So the announcers mentioned Harlem Heat again. We go to a commercial. We come back from the commercial to Sonya Deville having a match against the SmackDown Women's Champion, Asuka.
And getting destroyed by her.
And there was images shown from Fastlane when Sonya had flipped up the ring apron to get a kendo stick to help Mandy in the match, and Mandy instead tripped on the aforementioned ring apron that was flipped up, which led to her losing the match. And so this is a non-title match. Mandy Rose is in Sonya's corner, and Asuka was aggressive early on. Deville did manage to get a roll-up and hit a spear for a 2 count and some knees, but Asuka came back and basically kicked her ass. Asuka kicked Rose down after Sonya moved, trying the outside of the ring area. When Deville was on the apron, Mandy pulled on the ring apron, and Sonya Deville slipped, and Asuka then kicked Deville and put her in the Asuka lock and tapped her out. So basically, Mandy with a fair play return on Sonya.
So they're breaking up.
Yeah.
Fair. Oh, Tiff forgot to give her points for that. Well, I'll give her points for that.
Yeah, it's interference. Also noted here by the recapper that apparently the rumors that Asuka's going to face the aforementioned Lacey Evans at WrestleMania.
Which makes no sense because there's no build-up for it because Lacey still has yet to do anything on the main roster. What has she done to deserve that match?
I don't know. Apparently they like her.
All she does is strut around.
We know what she can do. Have you seen her moveset in the game?
No, not really.
It's pretty impressive. Anyway, points, please.
So 11 points to Mandy for turning against Sonya. Not that Asuka needed the help.
Nope.
7 points to Sonya for getting screwed.
Yep. Where the hell is Sonya? There she is. Okay.
And 29 points to Asuka for being Asuka.
Yes. That's right. 349. Okay. So rolling along, the Iconics, Royce and Kane do a backstage pre-tape promo talking trash about Sasha and Bayley and telling them to come to SmackDown and defend the women's tag titles against them because the future is iconic. However the hell they say that.
Okay, then.
So promo to the Iconics. And Peyton Royce. All right.
Okay.
So Becky Lynch made her entrance with the crutch, but then halfway down the ramp threw it away and just walked down the ramp, admittedly still with a slight limp, but clearly in better shape than people anticipated. So they went to a commercial break, and after coming back from it, Becky waited in the ring while they played a replay from Fastlane and an assortment of other things. Becky then cut a promo saying that it feels good to walk down that ramp on her own 2 feet for a change, and said that everybody got brave when she was injured, suspended, arrested, and then out of the biggest match of her career, but the man is back on her own 2 feet, back in the main event of WrestleMania, and that this is the match that she set in motion while saying that she picked Ronda Rousey, while Charlotte Flair got shoehorned in there by Vince McMahon, and said that she had to get in the match by winning the Royal Rumble and then playing Ronda Rousey like a fiddle. She added that it's hard to play mind games on a woman with no brain, but she did it. And said that she got Ronnie so wound up and called her a little weirdo, and said that she'll repay Rousey by ripping her arm off and taking her title at WrestleMania. And then at WrestleMania, she's going to reclaim everything that they have taken from her and tried to give to other people. This led to Charlotte, who made an entrance to booze, and congratulated Becky for making it to the main event, and said that it was the Golden Girls main event, that while Lynch was out, she's put in all the work, and her resume speaks for itself, and said that, Lynch has been hot for the last 6 months, but Charlotte's been hot for 4 years. And noted that she was chosen to get the job done, and said that the fans felt sorry for Lynch, just like Flair felt sorry for her this past Sunday. And said that no matter how she tries to spin it, Becky Lynch got a handout. And they claim that Becky has done so little and takes credit for so much, while Flair said that she's going to make Lynch and Rousey relevant again when they bow down to the Queen. Charlotte then dubbed herself Miss WrestleMania.
Wow.
Lynch said that Charlotte controlled the division for 4 years and did nothing with it, while Lynch came along, and now they're in the main event of WrestleMania.
She's not wrong.
Lynch said that we don't need a queen, we need the man. They then had a stare down. No fighting. Promo to Charlotte and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell's Becky? Okay. So, meanwhile, Kayla Braxton was outside the McMahon family office when Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan walked out of the room. Kayla asked what they were doing in there, and Bryan said that it was a private meeting, but claimed that McMahon put Bryan and Rowan in a match against Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio made an entrance. We go to a commercial break and come back to it when the remaining people here come out, and we have a tag team match play between Mysterio and R-Truth with Carmella, taking on Samoa Joe and Andrade with Zelina Vega.
Okay, hold on. She's got a backstage Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan promo before the match.
That's what I just said. Kayla Braxton caught them outside Vince's office.
Okay, well, 5 points to Daniel, 3 to Rowan then.
Yep.
All right, go over the match.
Mysterio used speed to fight Andrade at the beginning, tried a 619, but Joe got the tag and slammed Mysterio down onto the mat. Tossed him out of the ring, break, come back for the break with Andrade hitting 2 suplexes on Mysterio, but Ray countered with a sunset flip powerbomb. Zelina Vega tried to interfere and stop Mysterio from tagging out, but Carmella pulled her down. R-Truth got a hot tag and beat up Andrade for a little while. Joe then tagged himself in and kicked Truth in the head. Rey Mysterio tagged and hit a missile drop kick on Joe. Joe kicked Truth. Mysterio sent both guys into the ropes and hit a 619 on both men. Then hit a frog splash on Andrade, and Joe hit a senton on Mysterio. Joe went for a slam, but Mysterio rolled through and pinned Joe after 7 minutes.
He pinned Joe with the almighty roll-up?
Yep.
Wow. Some champion.
Yeah.
The championship belt made you immune from the almighty roll-up.
No, not usually.
I'm surprised Zelina and Carmella did nothing. Like, no interference, no nothing, no beating each other up, really?
I did read the line when Vega tried to prevent Mysterio from tagging out. Carmella pulled her down off the apron.
Oh, Okay.
I did say that. You should really learn to pay attention.
Sorry, I was just looking at the points and she didn't give those points. Apparently, Tiff has an aversion to interference. I don't know.
Well, they both get interference.
So 11 points to the ladies.
Oh, yep. And Zelina's way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Andrade gets 7 points for doing a few moves.
Yep. How many? 7?
7.
Okay.
Joe gets 8 points for doing one more move than Andrade.
Okay. Okay.
Truth gets 24 points for reminding people he can actually wrestle.
Yep.
And Ray gets 30 points for carrying the match.
Okay. Sounds good. After the match, Mysterio went up the ramp. Joe grabbed R-Truth and Andrade and each hit each of them with a Uranagi. Was that included in the match moves?
Yes.
Okay. We then saw some stuff. Commercial break. Come back for the commercial break to our main event match of Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan taking on Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali.
Okay, then.
Owens fought Bryan first. An elbow splash and a senton. Bryan tagged out, which brought Rowan in, who ran over Owens with a shoulder tackle. Ali tagged in, kicked Rowan in the face. Rowan countered with a running cross body block. Then kicked Owens off the apron, and Ali would beat slutted for a while. Through the commercial break, we come back to the commercial break to more of Ali getting beat slutted. And then Bryan hit a rather nice looking double underhook suplex off the top rope. He then applied the lapel lock, but Ali managed to grab the ropes. Bryan then hit Ali with 2 uppercuts to the chest, but Ali finally broke free with a drop kick when Bryan tried to throw him in the air. He then hit Bryan with a backstabber, got a 2 off it. Rowan made the save. Owens came in and tried to hit Rowan with a stunner, but Rowan blocked it, so Owens super kicked him. Ali and Owens then hit a double super kick on Rowan. Owens was out of the apron. Rowan tripped him up and whipped him into the barricade. Bryan and Ali exchanged some near falls in the ring. Rowan got a tag, grabbed Ali by the head, and slammed him into the mat with that weird face choke slam for the pinfall.
Okay, then. You ready?
Yep. Apparently, Rowan's finisher is called the Iron Claw, by the way.
Yeah, it's a stupid name, but that's
According to Tom Phillips. All right. Points, please.
I call it the fuck you.
Fair enough.
Not
By the way, that's
the
the main event.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Why do you think I took 5 minutes before we went on the air?
Fair enough. Points. Go.
So, Kevin Owens, 13 points for not doing a whole hell of a lot.
13?
Yep.
And 29. Yep. Okay.
Mustafa Ali,
Yes.
16 points for doing more than Kevin Owens despite being the beat slut.
Yep. Okay, 235.
The new Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
32 points because he's Daniel Bryan.
42 and 5 is 547.
And your winner, Eric Rowan, 40 points because they put him with Daniel Bryan.
184. Okay.
Yeah, he did a lot.
So as they were leaving, Vince came out.
Fuck you, Vince.
And Vince said that I'm here tonight to give you what you want. Said that he's here tonight to give Kofi Kingston the opportunity to compete for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And we saw the Fastlane footage of him getting beat up by the bar. Vince said that Kofi and people like you hear what you want to hear. He claimed that Kofi wouldn't be in the triple threat match, but made the match, and he did. He said that when he says things, you better listen because what he does is give us teachable moments. This led to the New Day coming out. They got down to the ring. They were very serious. Biggie spoke first, saying that if he's being honest, they're not in the mood for Vince to teach them a damn thing. Vince told Biggie to watch his mouth. And Xavier said that they're done watching what they say. Biggie saying that they spoke about how they've done everything for WWE, even flying to India on a promotional tour last week, which is why they weren't on SmackDown. And that they never complain about their spot. They never threaten to leave when they don't get what they want. They never cause a stir, yet Vince treats them like garbage. And Biggie yelled about the fact that Kofi has been there for 11 years, grinding and scraping his way up, and that he deserves better and deserves more. She got cheers. Vince said that Kofi doesn't deserve a damn thing, and neither do these people. Now, they don't deserve anything, neither does he. Vince said that he created SmackDown and Raw and WrestleMania, and nobody deserves anything. And Biggie said that this is bigger than their opinion, bigger than the New Day, and bigger than Vince's ego. Vince took offense to this and pointed out to Biggie that objectively there is nothing bigger than my ego.
Well, a man named Eric Arndt would like a word with you, Vince. Because I think we found someone who has a much larger ego than Vince McMahon. Because I saw an interview with him, and holy shit, this man oozes ego.
Bada boom, biggest ego in the room?
Pretty much. Because the interview I saw, he asked him about why he invaded Survivor Series. And he basically said, because Vince is too stupid to know what's right. And he was like, I had the album dropping, and right now in today's society, getting the trending spots is the most valuable thing in entertainment. And after he invaded Survivor Series, he was like the number 3 trending worldwide. He was like, that's why I did what I did. And he said, and for the record, when I can't remember, I guess he knew the name of the chick that took him down, the scary chick, but he's like, for the record, when she took me down, I didn't see it coming. And Vince is damn lucky I didn't get hurt, or I'd have sued his ass into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Mr. Arndt has a bigger ego than Mr. McMahon. Because he's talking about how he could do anything, whatever he wants, blah, blah, blah. Just if you watch that, you're just like, wow, this guy is like the textbook definition of ego.
Mm.
And this isn't a character, I don't think, because it was just an interview with him. So
right,
like Vince's ego is a character. This guy legitimately is ego personified.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Xavier said that they deserve it because they earn it. And that Kofi has defeated men that were WWE champion when they were WWE champion. And yet Kofi still didn't get an opportunity at the title, which is one of the many reasons Kofi deserves a match for the title. And Big E added that the WWE Universe hereby demands that Kofi gets an opportunity to compete for the WWE title at WrestleMania, which led to loud Kofi chants. Vince said that he wishes Kofi did deserve this, but states that he's known Kofi for a very long time and that he's a very good judge of talent. And that if Kofi was worthy of being in a championship match, he would have happened a long time ago. And he said that Kofi's an incredibly impressive performer. I mean, we've seen what you do in the Royal Rumble and in recent matches like the Elimination Chamber and the Gauntlet, but, you're a great athletic talent, Kofi. Nobody's denying that. And you will be in the WWE Hall of Fame one day, Kofi. That's for certain. But it will be as part of the New Day. Because that's who you are. That's the level you deserve. Yeah. Now, Kobe, I'll give you credit, right? Tells you because you got these 2 young bucks here doing the work for you while you take all the glory. And I don't have anything against that. Kofi, I wish you up to par, but simply put, you're just not championship material. I was having a conversation with Daniel Bryan backstage, and I think he hit it right on the mark when he said that Kofi is a great athlete, but he's a good B-plus player. Kofi spoke up saying that he's not asking for a free ride or a handout. He's not demanding a championship match, and pointed out that 11 years ago he was a kid with a dream, and that dream has come true. He provides a great life for his family and loves entertaining the WWE Universe. He said that he would like to think that at some point over that 11-year period, he's proven to Vince that he's worthy, but Vince said that he doesn't see it that way. Kofi said that he doesn't complain about anything, even though he busts his ass week in and week out, while other people get opportunities because Vince thinks they're more worthy. He noted that because of the 11 years, he's always been on the road and has missed special moments in his family's weddings, birthdays. Vince, do you know I've never been trick-or-treating with my children, ever? Because I've been here. You know, a few weeks ago, I think it was his son he mentioned. He says, my son lost his first tooth a few days ago, and I wasn't there to see the look in his eyes when he saw that money under the pillow, because I was here. I never complain about the people you put ahead of me, the time that I spent away from my family, or that you've never allowed someone like me to compete or contend for the WWE title. I've never complained that I'm not going to complain now. What I want you to do, Vince, is tell me what I have to do to be at that level so that I can compete in a championship match. And he added, the people believe in him, which drew cheers. And so Randy Orton's music hits and he comes out, and Vince said that, all right, all you have to do is beat that man and you're going to the promised land. And then Joe came out and said, and that man. Then the Bar came out and said, and those two men. Then Eric Rowan and that man too. Informing Kofi that he would have to win a gauntlet match against all 5 of these men on next week's SmackDown to earn a championship match. The heels went down to the ring, but the New Day cleared house and cleared them back out of the ring. And the New Day, the announcers talked about how unfair this was going to be, and Graves mentioned that Kofi's not going to have the backup of the New Day in that gauntlet next week. And the whole thing ended with Kofi hitting Cesaro with a Trouble in Paradise.
Okay, was Daniel out there with Rowan?
He was, but he did not come farther than the ramp, and Vince retreated from the ring and joined Daniel on the ramp to stare them down at the end of the show.
Okay, so 3 points to all those men for showing up.
Yes.
She gave them 5. I give them 3 because they didn't actually say anything. They just walked out.
That's fair. Should I give them 5 because they did jump in the ring and attempt to assault the New Day?
Except for Daniel Bryan.
Right. Daniel Bryan will get 3.
Fair. 5 to everyone else.
All right.
And then we will score the New Day once you've done all that.
Yep. And let's see, Eric Rowan. And then who the hell else? Joe and Orton. And yeah, okay. New Day.
So 9 points apiece to Xavier and Big E.
Okay.
For promo and assault.
187. Yeah, how much was it?
9.
9. What's it? 160 even. Okay.
Did you get both of them?
Yep.
And 10 to Kofi because he hit a Trouble in Paradise.
Nice. Okay.
And that is the Smacketh Down.
Yep. Let's go over here and see what we got. All right. Still in the lead at 79.52. Extremely Legit Yes Movement. Followed at 72.01 by the Rowdy Last Kickers. And I'm back in last at 51.32.
Well, you made like 130 points. That's not bad.
No, it's not enough, but it's not bad. All right. I can finally stop talking. Take us to the 205.
All right. So we open with a whole shed load of promos. So gets to scoring. because these are basically, hey, we're in the tournament, we're going to win. No, you're not.
Fair enough. Who we got?
Drew Gulak, 5. Tony Nese, 5.
Okay.
Oni Lorcan, 5.
Is he even on the roster?
At the bottom.
Oh, right.
He's had a few matches.
Fair enough. Okay.
And Cedric Alexander, 5. And they're trying to make Cedric Alexander like edgy, and it's like that's completely against his demeanor. Because they all like put him in like a darkened stairwell with a fucking hoodie and stuff. I'm like, dude, you're not gangster. Stop trying. You're way too nice to be gangster. This isn't working for you.
Welcome to the Cedric Penitentiary?
Kind of, yeah. Not quite that gangster. He doesn't have crunk like they do, but yeah. But yeah, they're trying to make him like they're trying to make him like the Daredevil, and it's like, yo, you're not Matt Murdock. Stop it.
Fair enough.
And then we have Buddy Murphy via Instagram from Australia because apparently the Cruiserweight champion couldn't be bothered leaving his house this morning.
Okay.
So 5 to him. And it's basically the same shit.
In all fairness to him, though, you can't get mad at him because he's just taking a page out of the Brock Lesnar school of being a champion.
Yeah, he's better than Brock Lesnar. At least he can be bothered to shoot a promo.
True.
But yeah, it's basically the stock standard shit of, I don't care who fucking wins this tournament. It's not going to matter because at WrestleMania, you're going to learn that you can't stop the unstoppable.
Fair enough.
Which is completely false. You're going to lose, but still.
Okay, then.
So we kick things off with Cedric Alexander versus Oni Lorcan.
Orny Logan?
Yeah. Orny Lorcan. No. No. Oni Lorcan. It was a good match. It was actually a really good match. A lot of counters on Cedric's side. I kind of like the storytelling in this match. I actually did a good job where Cedric got injured partway into the match and was selling the injury and how tired he was. I don't know if I like how they're basically turning him into John Cena. That kind of is rubbing me the wrong way. Because literally, Oni Lorcan does his half and half suplex, kicks out. Then he gets on the top rope and does an avalanche from the top rope, half and half suplex, kicks out. I'm like, what the fuck? You're not John Cena. Gave him an OMG for that, by the way.
Fair enough.
I also gave Cedric an OMG for a running apron STO.
Okay.
Where literally they're on the apron, or well, Oni was on the apron, and Cedric fancied himself out to the apron by doing cruiserweight shit.
Right.
And then ran at Oni Lorcan while on the apron, grabbed him, and basically jumped off the apron into an STO and smacked him right down onto the apron.
Ouch.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt. But as I was saying, the storytelling in the match was great because he's all injured, and they kind of made him like, what if John Cena fusion danced with Daniel Bryan? Because he was kicking out left, right, and center out of everything, but they also made him kind of like the scrappy underdog, kind of like he's all tired and like basically can barely stand, but he's like, come on, bring it, bitch, just bring it. You want some of this? And baiting Oni Lorcan, which worked because Oni Lorcan was getting frustrated. I hit you with half and half and you kicked out. I hit you with the avalanche half and half, you still kicked out. What do I have to do to stop you? And Cedric was just being defiant and baited him, and Oni was like, fine. And he turned around to go run to the ropes, and as he did that, Cedric grabbed him by the tights, pulled him back, boom, lumbar check. So,
okay,
it was a great match. This was
definitely
definitely the match of the night.
Point me.
So 24 to Oni Lorcan, because he did a lot of stuff, including the OMG and countering a lumbar check.
It's 69.
Then over to Cedric Alexander.
Who did
He
more
gets-
stuff.
Who did more stuff. He gets 50 points.
All right, that's cool. I was going to put him at 205 live. Bam!
Yeah. Yeah, he fucking hit him with everything.
Okay,
And the OMG, and he countered a bunch of his shit.
nice.
Then we cut backstage to DM the GM's office, and once again with the couple of love,
Okay,
Mike and Maria.
still employed. Fair enough.
And Maria started to talk, and Mike cut her off and basically yelled at DM the GM.
Ah,
And DM the GM was like, "Look, Mike, looking good in defeat won't look good for long, you know." So he's like, "I'm gonna give you an opportunity next week." He's like, "You want?" Because he was like, basically he did the exact same promo he's been doing and that she's been doing for him of, I've been here for, I've been in this business for like 60 years or whatever. I've beaten everyone, blah, blah, blah. I have all these credentials, and I deserve better. I deserve to be in that title picture, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, the GM gives him the Vince McMahon response of, yeah, you did all the crap. You're a big fat goose egg in WWE. As far as I'm concerned, you're a piece of shit.
fair enough.
But he's like, fine, you want an opportunity? I'll give you an opportunity. Next week, you're going to face one of the top cruiserweights in the division. I don't know who he's going to give him.
Let's see.
Buddy Murphy, maybe?
Yeah, Buddy Murphy could beat his ass. That would work. I can see that.
He's like, you're going to face one of the top cruiserweights next week, but I want you to know. And like, he gets in and like gets all like sister. And this was actually great by DM the GM. He goes, looking good in defeat won't look good for long. Take next week's opportunity seriously, because there might not be a next one.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be like a retirement match for Kanellis, basically, of writing him off.
Could be Kalisto.
Except he's already lost to Kalisto.
Oh, fair.
Kalisto was the first one he fought.
Good point.
I'm thinking it's going to be Buddy Murphy. I'm thinking, are you going to fight the champion in a non-title match, and then Buddy Murphy's just going to destroy him?
I could see that happening. That is entirely possible.
Normally, I'd say Cedric, but he's already lost to Cedric, and Cedric has the finals match to wrestle next week. So
yeah, I would say it's Hideo, but he's gone.
Yeah.
I
would think Mustafa, but he's on SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, what would be a great storyline if he could actually pull it off.
What's that?
Which would be hilarious. It would be an interesting way to play forces against each other. If DM the GM is in the back in his office, he's like, all right, I need somebody to take care of this. He goes like, all right, hey, he goes back. He's like, hey, Gulak, Jack, you want to make a better 205 live? Get rid of the trash.
He could do that because, spoiler alert, Drew Gulak gets his ass kicked. Which we'll get to in a minute, but
okay, please continue.
Yeah. Or if you really wanted to do fan service, because I don't think he said one of the top cruiserweights on 205 Live. I think he said in the division. I could be wrong.
Mustafa.
He could card out Rey Mysterio.
Or that.
Which would be hilarious. It's like, hi, I'm Rey. Meet my feet. 619.
Ricochet.
There you go.
Anyway, please continue.
Anyway, so 5 points to the Kanellis for screaming at DM the GM.
Fair enough. And Mike. Yeah, 103. Okay.
And then we come to the promo of the night.
Okay.
And I was tempted to give him pipe bomb just for how good this promo was, but I'll let you be the judge.
Okay.
We cut to Arya Davari.
Is he wearing bling?
I couldn't tell. It was a chest up shot. It was focused on his face. But his body language, his eyes just completely sold the promo. And I don't usually do this, but his promo was so good that I wrote it verbatim on my notes.
Okay, then.
He goes, he goes, WrestleMania season is fast approaching, and I'm not on the card. I don't have a match. And I realized that my biggest asset is also my biggest detriment. And that's making ordinary guys look like superstars. And then they have the audacity to handcuff me to lesser men like some obsequious lapdog. Well, the leash is coming off. And when it does, you will see what 1 year of frustration really looks like. Damn good promo.
It is a damn good promo. I don't know if it's pipe bomb worthy, but it's a damn good promo.
Yeah, you should check it out. So, and like I said, just the eyes and everything, and just he's amazing on the mic. Holy shit!
Cool.
There's a 5 to Arya Davari for the promo. So it looks like Arya Davari might be getting a big push.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we come to our main event of Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak.
Nice.
This was a pretty good match, too. I think the other one was better, but this match, there was a lot of countering because, as the commentators pointed out, they know each other so well. Like, there were a lot of counters.
Nice.
But at the end of the day, Tony Nese just straight up countered everything, pretty much everything that Drew Gulak tried to do and avoided a Gulak. So
nice.
Whereas Drew Gulak avoided a few things, countered a few things, but Tony Nese got in more offense, and for whatever reason, Drew Gulak had nothing other than the Gulak in his arsenal. So yeah, whereas Tony Nese literally went for everything. Like, he tried to go for the springboard moonsault twice. He went for a 450, tried to do his pump handle driver finisher. He even went for the running knees. All of that shit got avoided.
Wow.
Whereas Gulak went for the Gulak 5 times, got countered 4 times, and avoided once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're saying Gulak needs a moveset.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
That's pretty much why he lost this match. He doesn't have a moveset. He's literally the John Cena of 205 Live. Except John Cena's moveset is actually effective.
Right.
Tony Nese did something he probably should never try again. But the fact that he did it from that position was kind of impressive.
Okay.
He basically did the RVD split leg and moonsault.
Okay.
In the corner, except he didn't do it head on. He did it from the side.
Oh.
On the apron. He jumped like up the apron, like literally he jumped and like contorted his body so his legs would land on the inside part of the ring so he could do the split leg and moonsault.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of landed awkwardly because he didn't quite get the rotation he needed because have you seen the man?
Yep.
It's like Brock Lesnar trying to do a shooting star press.
Right.
Minus the concussion.
Right.
But the fact that he was actually able to pull it off was kind of impressive.
That sounds impressive.
But I'm trying to remember how he won this thing. Because at one point he did this thing, and the way they sold it, man, I'm not entirely convinced Gulak didn't get a concussion, although he looked fine after the match. But Tony Nese grabbed him into a German suplex and did a low German suplex and Germaned his neck into the bottom turnbuckle.
Ouch.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, look at where he's at. And Tony Nese went for the Rennie Nese, and Gulak just moved out of the way.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what? I remember how he won. He won with the almighty roll-up. That's why I don't have a finishing move on here.
Ah.
And it was more than an almighty roll-up. That's right. Because Gulak went for the Gulak one last time and actually locked it in this time.
Ah.
and instead of breaking out, Tony Nese, in a very intuitive move, spun around so that he had his feet toward the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have broken it if you wanted to by either grabbing the ropes with his feet or putting his feet under the ropes, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, instead he plants his feet on the ropes, shoves off, and flips over into a pin.
Nice.
And Gulak refused to release the Gulak, so 1, 2, 3.
Okay, then.
So yeah, your winner, moving on to the final match against Cedric Alexander, Tony Nese.
Cool.
Prediction, Tony Nese is taking it all.
I can see it.
Because Cedric doesn't deserve it. He's already done it once. Not only that, he's already won the title at WrestleMania once. So yeah, no, get to the back of the line, Cedric.
Works for me.
Tony Nese also kind of a face in this match.
Cool.
Like
against Gulak, that's kind of how that's going to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty good match. And then Cedric Alexander popped up a couple of times during the match. He was watching the match backstage as he was pulling the tape off his hands and wrists from his match.
Mm. So Jack Gallagher just fucked off somewhere and let his friend lose a tournament match?
He was probably berating their young protege, Humberto Carrillo.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Who also couldn't be bothered to show up. So I'm guessing that story is they're going to be out there together doing stuff.
Gotcha.
Or, yeah, he fucked off and couldn't just let his friend lose a match.
Yeah.
Or the GM banned him from ringside and told nobody except them.
That's possible.
Anyway, 3 points to Cedric for decompressing after a match.
Okay. And
Drew Gulak.
Yes.
27 points.
That puts him at exactly 200. Okay.
And your winner, Tony Nese.
Yes.
Winning the main event of 205 Live.
Yes.
62 points.
Nice. So that puts him at 55, 85, 95, 05. And puts him at 215.
Also, I kind of wish we had chutzpah points. Because in the middle of the match, Tony Nese pulled out the Northern Light suplex on Drew Gulak.
Okay, then.
That's one of Gulak's signature moves.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's ballsy. Admittedly, the pin looked pretty damn good. So, Alicia Fox, you might have a competition here.
Well, we don't have chutzpah points, but we do have move thief points.
Well, it's the same point as we get if he did it. I included it.
Right, yeah.
So
that's fair.
But yeah, I was like, wait, he doesn't have a Northern Light suplex, and I happen to have Gulak's move set up, and it's like Northern Light suplex. I'm like, wow, he used Gulak's move against him.
Yep.
Got a 2 count off it too.
Nice. Alrighty, well that's that. Let's go ahead and check the score. Wrap this up for the night because it is late.
Yeah, not that late.
I have to get up in the morning. You don't. Not all of us can work for our parents and show up at work whenever the hell we want.
Yeah, I can't show up for work whenever the hell I want. I have hours to just by like 1, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because you're too damn lazy to work any earlier in the day. So yeah, and still in the lead is the Sheila J. Yes movement at 79.52. Followed at 72.78 by the Rowdy Last Kickers, and last at 52.32 is me.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
So you got exactly 100 points, and I got exactly 0. That's great.
Yep. And yet you're still like 800 points in the lead over Tiff and 2,600 points over me. Let's check the leaderboards. All right, top of the leaderboards is the WWE champion, Daniel Bryan.
Oh, wow, he's number 1. Holy crap.
550 points, followed by the Raw Women's champion, Ronda Rousey at 538. Finn Balor clocking in at 535, followed by Seth freaking Rollins, the number 1 contender for the Universal title at 447. Samoa Joe's coming in there at 470 points, followed by Drew McIntyre off of a nice tag title match. Drew McIntyre's in there at 464, followed by Bayley, one half of the women's tag team champions at 438. Bobby Lashley coming in, the new Intercontinental champion, coming in there at 433. Followed by Sasha Banks, the other half of the women's tag champs at 422. Still holding in there and rounding out the top 10 is Dean Ambrose at 419. Dean Ambrose will not die.
No. Now he'll probably end in the top 10 because they're just, with the Shield stuff, they're just the whole, like, hardcore pushing him.
Yeah. All right.
Especially if he's slated to have a WrestleMania match. Yeah, he's easily going to stay in the top 10.
Yep. And once again, I have Finn Balor up here, who has dropped down to number 3. And my next highest guy is Kofi at number 19.
Well, Kofi might be your saving grace.
Well, we'll see. Because he's only at 287. Even if he wins the main event at WrestleMania, it's not going to put him in the lead.
Well, he's not, because he doesn't have tits in it. And, you know.
Well, okay, the men's main event of WrestleMania. We're going to put it that way.
Because the women are in the main event of WrestleMania this year.
Well, yes, I know this. Which kind of pisses me off because I don't have a horse in that race.
Yeah, well, we know Becky's going to win, so it doesn't matter if you had a horse anyway.
I know. Anyway.
Tiff is just going to get all kinds of points off of that.
Yep. Will it be enough to beat you? We'll find out.
Depends on what the scores are going into WrestleMania.
That is true. At any rate, let's take this home. It's time to get the hell out of here. Jeff, thanks for being here. Thank you to Tiff and Risa for their scoring efforts, and we hope to have them here on Saturday, get a full show going. I will note, by the way, I made an amendment during the course of the program. Real quick, those of you watching will already note this. This has been the XFL for the week of March 11th, 2018, the Guardians of the Independent Scene.
Oh, you changed it, huh?
I did. I amended it.
Fair.
It doesn't show because we're in here, but those watching this afterward will see that that is the title of the video.
Fair.
Because I'm sorry, that deserves it. That was the line of the week.
Sure. I approve.
All right. We'll see you next time, folks. I'm James Phoenix.